does Vader have to choke a bitch? And he's like, what? Vader's got to choke a bitch. And he starts fucking choking the shit out of her. He's like, he's like, no. And Obi-Wan's like, all right, that's enough. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content in my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games. I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video. Chat, we got so much stuff to cover. In case you just came in here right now and you don't know, I'm going to be doing a scene by scene breakdown, chat, to Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. After that, chat, we're going to get into some single-player shenanigans, playing Psychonauts. The original one, hopefully finishing that up either today or tomorrow in preparation for Psychonauts 2. After that, chat, we'll be delving into some Apex Legends, some multiplayer shenanigans in Apex Legends and Jackbox Party Pack, chat. So we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun. Cheers, chat. But now, my friends, because it's going to be a long one. It's going to be a long one, chat. It's going to be a long one tonight. I'm telling you right now. Nice seeing him popping up on DT. Nice pooping. I'm pooping on DT. Nice seeing him popping on DT. Nice to see the good ones do well. Thank you. No, this is spooky. Thank you for that. Like, I really do appreciate the positive and encouraging comments. It definitely helps. I'm just happy I can create this content. People have been responding well to. I constantly want to make it better. And so that's what I'm working towards. And yeah, I'm hoping for the best. The boss thing with the 3 base, not even a port, so I can picture it now in Audible fanfics. Oh yeah, I smell money, filthy erotic money. That man, yeah. I like that. I like that, Jim. Can we skip the Younglings part? No, we're gonna indulge in the Younglings part. Master Skywalker, what are we gonna do? They're everywhere. And he's like, I'm gonna kill you. Ooh! We're gonna talk about it. Ooh! Polymorphic, thank you so much for gifting us sub to Dericles. Appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you, no one. If I may pooping on DT is its own gross thing, please don't. That's true. You're not wrong. And thank you so much. Look at all the kind people of all the biddies. With all the biddies coming in here, chat. Brad, when they get the 5 biddies, do you wonder how Mass Effect Drone is going to connect to Mass Effect Drone? I don't know. I hope it doesn't. I don't want it to. The last thing I want is to connect. I like forget it's going to, but I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to know. Trilogy and then Mass Effect 4. I'm good. Woo-wee. No, Chad, again, thank you for the support. Good to have you here. But tonight, Chad, we got to go ahead. We got to go ahead and get into this review because it is going to be robust. It is going to be thick. It's going to be girthy. It's going to be well endowed, chat. And I'm going to be doing my scene by scene breakdown for Star Wars Episode 3, heavy emphasis on that chat, Revenge of the Sith. But chat, before I go ahead and start talking about this movie, talk about my opinions on it overall before we get into the nitty-gritty details, chat, I need to ask you a very important question. That question being, how many of you have seen Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, chat? Very curious. Chat. I want to know. Got no time. This is going to be great. This is where the fun begins. I can't say too many times. It'll be robust and girthy. Does he even say, man, I'm offering it to you early, man. Monday, it's your Saturday. That's what I'm doing. Silk Shirt Bird, oh yeah. Trini says, one time. I've seen it one time. Good for you. Rock a birdie. Not only did I see it, I made a costume cut class waiting for 12 hours to see it. You and many other people did. Chris Beaver's God, anyone remember the Television Netflix show? Nikki, you guys do not. Watched it the first time a few days ago. Whoa, in preparation for this review, obviously. Thank you. So, yes, I have. Polymorphic says 2, gentlemen. Yes, of course. So, carry me. You're thinking of the 5 days after the first Star Wars movie and the first Star Wars thing in the general. I saw, really? I don't know how I understood what was going on given that. Wow, that's interesting. Wow, man, you did it really backwards. Don says, I imagine he did, and he did not like it. Because she tells me, I was a big fan of this movie growing up as a kid so many times. A lot of people were. Senior Spock only once, but I feel like I know it in and out. See if you do. Keep me on. You're gonna keep me on task, then. You're gonna keep me on task. Like F. Lucas as Nichelle of the 50s, given his age, and me. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Those cereals, Flash Gordon cereals and stuff like that from the 30s and 40s, and the 50s, obviously. I've seen Star Wars: Revenge of the Sink. That's fair. I'll take it. I've seen the glorious sand of a movie. There's sand in here, but not a lot of it. There is some sand, but this is a lack of sand. And he would like this movie because, for burning his dick off. Other than him, getting his fucking limbs chopped off and having his dick burned off, there is a lack of sand. So, you take what you can get. You take what you get. Miranda says lots of times, Bad Boy, never seen episode 3. Well, this is going to be a goddamn adventure for you. But the memes pulled me away. Oh, you got the memes. I will say, Chet, to be positive, but looks like a lot of you have seen this movie. Look, boss. Not only did I see this in the theater, but my uncle's got me a bootleg for my birthday. Oh, we'll talk about that bootleg, that Chinese bootleg. There's some funny stuff about this film, even before it was originally released. I mean, it is. I'll say this: like the behind the scenes of the prequels, both the good stuff and the bad stuff, is very interesting. Just the filming process and people's reactions to it, how certain scenes were filmed like way before the movies, like way before they began filming like the other movies. It's really interesting. And like the leaking of this film, how originally it came out and how it created that wonderful, beautiful meme culture, Chad. This movie really did hit when I think like the internet was really like, okay, now everyone's online. Now we got this. But I mean, we had MySpace at this point. YouTube was almost the thing. I think in 2006 it was about to come out. So this movie kind of hit at, I think, a really good time, and it was memed to death, and I love it. So good, Chad. So good. Thank you. Who is that coming in there with the support? Brightburn, thank you for the 5 biddies. Appreciate the first time I had a bad stream because I had a bad camp towards the end of the film. It was packed theater, and some tall asshole with a big perm sat in front of me. Oh, that guy and his perm. I'm sorry, man. But I saw this. I remember seeing this opening weekend, chat, and this is when I was a Star Wars fan. I remember, like, as a kid, I talked about this before. I originally saw the re-release of Star Wars, so the special editions, chat, in 1997 when they re-released A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. And I saw, and yes, it was ones where they had the change scenes and stuff, the additional CGI. And, but again, I was a kid, and I was like, this is just fucking incredible what I was seeing. I couldn't believe it. It blew my little mind, chat. I was at the perfect age to see those original movies in the late 90s. And I remember seeing A New Hope and Empire. I saw A New Hope on Saturday, and I saw Empire on Sunday, and then next week, because they had them out for a while, and then I think that next week I watched it on that next Saturday, and that was the Return of the Jedi, and it was amazing. I loved them. I love those films, and this, of course, that made me excited because, oh, shit, like all these other fucking schmucks were waiting for these prequel movies, for nearly 20 goddamn years. Return of the Jedi ended in 83. It's like, oh, that's all the Star Wars are gonna get, and then they have to wait all the time. It's like, oh, it's only 2 years away. Perfect. I love it. Can't wait. And so when I saw A Phantom Menace, I loved it. Of course I did, chat. I was like 9. I think I was 9 years old, 8 years old when I saw it, so of course I loved it. Oh, that was great. Darth Maul was so cool. I loved all the ships and the battles and stuff. But then as I got older, I think really I didn't start to question like my love of Phantom Menace until I saw Attack the Clones. That's when things started to sour for me. Bad Shield, thank you so much for 25 biddies. Revenga, indeed, the Revenga of the Sith. Thank you. Thank you, Bad Shields. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. That's when I first started to question certain things. Because Attack the Clones to me was so fucking boring. It was so boring, and it had such a lack of action. It just kind of failed in every regard. But I just remember just like, I don't understand this. This is Senate and the clones and Count Dooku. It's a stupid name. It reigns of Doo-Doo, Dooku Doo-Doo. It's not a cool name. Even though I didn't know who Christopher Lee was at the time. I was too ignorant. I was too young. And so then between, like, Attack the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, that's when I really started to, like, sour on the prequels. But I was like, well, let's see what they'll do with the third one. The third, and we all assumed at the time, Chad, the final one. Like, people forget, like, after Revenge of the Sith came out, we're like, well, I guess that's all the Star Wars are going to get. Well, yeah, we'll get the animated shows and things. And we'll still get books and everything, like in the Expanded Universe books, of course. But I mean, it's funny, we were in the same position, funny enough, that people who watched Return of the Jedi were in all those years ago. It's like, shit, well, that's all the Star Wars are going to get now, huh? What a goddamn whimper. And it was like, well, I guess, all right, well, we have the things that we like, and we can discard the things that we don't like, and then eventually, Disney acquired it, and then, that's for another time. But thank you, Luke Bus, for the bidding. So I'm not the only one who didn't like Attack of the Clones. I feel like I sleep in the middle of the movie. Oh no, everyone. I think the most people would say that's the worst one. I certainly say it. I think it's the boring one. That's the fucking romance, and it's just like, I love. What the fuck? What's the line? It's like, my love, it burns for you. It hurts me. It's like whatever the hell it is. It's just awful, awful dialogue. I can't remember all of it because it's so bad. Because I haven't seen the movie in like over a year at this point, so it's not sticking in there, chat, nor would it usually anyway. But I remember I saw Revenge of the Sith, and I was still excited for it because we were all anticipating like, okay, we're gonna get fucking Vader. Remember on the marketing and the trailers, they were showing Darth Vader. We had the all that shit. It was like, oh, it's so cool. We're gonna see the birth of that. We're gonna see the duel between Obi-Wan and Anakin that was only referenced the original trilogy and some of the expanded universe materials in its full context. Chat. We're gonna see the birth of the Empire. Like, there's a lot of cool things. Again, Revenge of the Sith, like every prequel, chat. There is a lot of great ideas in all of them. There really are. There really is. It's like, yeah, this is very interesting. It's just the execution. It's just, I think Lucas just fumbled the execution because at that point in his career, and I've talked about this in my previous 2 reviews for Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, he had unlimited power. No one could question him. No one was able to come in here and suggest something else. He's like, no, it's fucking my way or the goddamn space highway, the hyperspace highway, okay? I get first, second, third, last call, all that bullshit, okay? It's me, all right? And no one could question him. No one could come in and say, like, maybe we can do it this way. There was no Irving Kershner who came in and it's like, I'm going to do it my way. We're going to try it this way. And George's like, I don't want you to do that. And he's like, well, too bad. All right, this will be better. He's like, I hate you. I'm going to direct all the 3 other films. Talking everything with 5 minutes. That's what makes it so damn... Exactly. And it's a case, it's a case of the creator, I think, just, and I made my peace with it. I can't, there's no way, no one can stay mad. Some people are still mad, and other people, for various reasons, and they want to be. I'm like, I made my peace with it. We've gotten some great material from the prequels, thankfully. Like, a lot of great material from the prequels, from that era. Star Wars Clone Wars, especially. Thank you, Chris, for the 5 biddies. But and with Revenge of the Sith, there's a lot of good ideas there, and a lot of things I was anticipating, but inevitably, like the 2 films before it, it stumbles. Is it the best of the prequel trilogy? Maybe. I think people can still argue. A lot of people. I think you can make a case for the first one, for the Phantom Menace. Yes, you have Jar Jar Binks in there, but the Phantom Menace also has the most practical effects. It feels the most grounded. Whereas this one, everything is CGI. So much, I'm like, that's everything CGI. The whole room is CGI. All the characters are CGI. It's fucking nuts to me. Like, there's nothing that feels real in this movie. Everything feels inauthentic and fake. Which is, I will say, I thought the sequel trilogy and the other a lot of the other Star Wars materials that we gotten, like Rogue One and Mandalorian, things like that. Like, they did try to adhere to the overall aesthetic of the original trilogy in terms of just like, you can touch things and things are real. There are sets around us. I can interact with stuff. I'm not staring at a fucking tennis ball. So I think that's what happened with this movie. It's the same with all the other ones. You have all these great actors. You have Samuel L. Jackson. You have Ian McDermott. You have Ewan McGregor. A number of other people, and Christopher Lee. But again, you could be Hayden Christensen. Hayden Christensen is a very good actor. It's a shame what these films did to his career, because he deserved. Again, Chad, watch Shattered Glass. You want to see Hayden Christensen act his ass off, because he does a fantastic job in that movie. Which he did, I think, in between Attack the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. Very good. I think it came out 2003, 2004 or something. But again, I've always said this: if you're given shit direction and you have a shit script, you're gonna probably give a shit performance. That's inevitable, no matter how talented you are. And it's just a shame, because these actors are like, what the fuck? I can't act off anything. I'm literally talking to nothing, and it feels that way. It feels that way, and it's a damn shame. Now, the movie did pretty well. In terms of commercially, obviously did very well. This was, I think, the highest grossing film, or no, it was not. Well, it was the highest grossing film in 2005, and it made $868.4 million on a budget of $113 million. Chat did very, very well for itself, and I think this was the second highest grossing of the prequels. Phantom Menace was the highest grossing, made over $900 million. This was the second one. Attack of the Clones, not nearly as good. And it also has a fairly good reputation, at least when it initially released. Critics, it had it had, compared to Attack the Clones and compared to the Phantom Menace, it definitely fared better with critics and fans. One thing I will say about this movie is that it is better paced especially compared to Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace. I was like, okay, shit, we're getting right into the action immediately, which I think is very smart. So one thing I will say is that Lucas knew, is like, all right, shit, I got to fit a lot of it. And I think it's just the fact that he has to fit so much fucking material in this movie. And it's like, we got to put action scene after action scene after action scene. And that's why I think it just fits a little bit better. Whether everything that's happening on screen is good, it does move at a pretty good pace. About 2 hours and 20 minutes. And it didn't feel slow to me. Whereas Phantom definitely did at times. And Attack of the Clones especially. And, overall, I mean, my opinion on this movie, I mean, I'll give my final rating at the end of my spoiler review. But is it a good film? No. It fails in so many regards, and it's a shame because, again, the material is interesting. The Clone Wars is an interesting idea. The character of Count Dooku is an interesting idea. Palpatine's manipulation is really interesting. The fall of Darth Vader is interesting. General Grievous had the potential of being really fucking cool, and he was cool for a bit. But it just stumbles in every regard. But it's better paced. And there's some cool action scenes, some cool ideas of action. It is what it is, Chad. It's at the end of the day, it's still a very disappointing film. I've always been a fan of Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman, all she does is like, I'm fucking pregnant. Oh, by the way, bullshit that because she's pregnant with Luke and Leia in the movie, obviously, and it's like she is not pregnant with twins. Bull fucking shit. Because she'd be like, the whole time if she was. It's like, you are pregnant with one kid, unless she's 6 months pregnant or something like that. And her and, Luke and Leia were born earlier. So it doesn't make any guys like bull fucking shit. I don't believe it that she's pregnant with twins in this movie. I'm pregnant, Annie Meekly Sheepling. Welcome to String. We'll get to that scene in a second. But yeah, there's some weird shit in this movie. But now, chat, we got to go ahead and get started. Opening crawl of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. War! Exclamation point, chat, which I think that's a weak way to open the crawl. War! Just general war. The galaxy's in chaos again. And the Separatists and the Republic, the Grand Republic, chat, they're caught in the middle of battles across multiple systems throughout the galaxy, chat. Weird line in the movie because it says there are heroes on both sides of this war, which is like, okay, I can understand that. But then the next line is that the Separatists, led by the tyrannical and evil Count Dooku, it's like, wait a minute, you're telling me there's heroes on both sides, and yet the Separatists is being led by the evil and tyrannical Count Dooku? You're contradicting yourself in your opening crawl, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. What are you talking about? But you're like, all right, okay. But we get the setup. Count Dooku, General Grievous, they staged a major attack against the capital world of Coruscant, chat. This is the capital of the Republic. It's the big city planet, chat. Okay, and they've done the unthinkable. They've kidnapped the Grand Chancellor of the Republic, chat, Papa Palpatine. And fucking Republic's like, shit, what the hell are we gonna do? And the Jedi's like, don't worry, we're gonna send Anakin Skywalker, General Anakin Skywalker, and General Obi-Wan Kenobi to rescue Papa Palpatine. And that's when the movie starts, chat. The crawl, we're down from the crawl, we go ... all that shit, and we see this giant Star Destroyer-esque ship. I think they're called Venerator ships. So they're not Star Destroyers yet. This is like a proto Star Destroyer, a Venerator cruiser. And then, chat, we see these two Jedi starfighters come in, and it's very early TIE fighter designs because you see the middle portion has that TIE design. It's like, I see that. I see what you did there, Lucas. And the yellow one is being piloted by Anakin Skywalker, chat, who now has long hair. He had a little rat tail. He got like short hair and a little rat tail in the second movie. Now he's got long, luscious, dirty blonde hair, and he's got like a scar down his, got a cool scar, which we found out, chat, in Star Wars, the Clone Wars 2D animated series by Jenny Tartakovsky, which I'll bring up multiple times during this review, because that series came out in the interim, in the in-between, between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. He got from Asajj Ventress, chat. I don't know how he got it in the new series. I guess we just assume it was Asajj Ventress. It doesn't matter. But he's got that. That's his new look, chat. R2's also in the little starfighter. We also have good old Obi-Wan Ben Kenobi, chat. I like to call him Benny. Benny Boy Kenobi, he's in his Red Starfighter, chat. They fly across the Venerator Star Destroyer, and then boom, they flip over, and it's a massive fucking battle above the of Coruscant, chat. In outer space, right just before it hits the atmosphere. It's like, holy shit, look at all these ships. It's a cool, and I will say this, the CGI for it holds up. This is a great way to start a Star Wars movie, because remember in the original Star Wars film, the Phantom Menace, it's just, they're fucking flying towards the space donut where the Trade Federations, where the racist Asian aliens live. It's like, is that illegal? It's like, let's not do that. And then the second one, fucking Padme's ship got blown up by Jango Fett, but it was boring. This one, besides space, so yeah, it was a space donut. Yeah, that's what the Trade Federation had. And I remember that when they blockaded the planet of Naboo, which is located in the middle rim of the Star Wars galaxy, chat, because they wanted to have proper trade negotiations. Nubians. They didn't want to negotiate with the racist space aliens. Yeah, they had big fucking donuts. I will say, Deadpool, the 5 days, Revenge of the Sith, picks up within hours of Clone Wars animated series less. Yes, it does. It does indeed. We actually see what happened on the ground when Grievous kidnapped Palpatine and defeated a number of Jedi, including Jedi Master Shakti, who apparently has almost died multiple times throughout the franchise. We'll talk about that in a second. That's a deleted scene in the movie, which they cut out because we're going to savor the Force Unleashed video game where you kill her there. But yeah, sure. 2005, I will say, the 2005 spaceship CGI is pretty good. This is aged. I was like, oh yeah, this is aged pretty well. I mean, it's not as good as what we have now, like in the new Star Wars movies. Like, okay, it looks obviously, there's contrast between them, but this is pretty solid. It's pretty solid. And they're fucking flying and shit. And they're heading towards General Grievous's capital ship, chat, the Invisible Hand. And, Obi-Wan's like, I fucking hate flying and shit. He's like, Anakin's like, don't worry, Master. I'm sure we'll rescue Papa Palpatine. Everything will be okay. But oh no, chat, we meet General Grievous. We meet General Grievous, chat, and he's like, fire the missiles and shit. And they start firing missiles, like they got little vulture droids. He's like, little vulture droids on his ship, and the goddamn droids start heading towards, and they start firing missiles and laser cannons. And Obi-Wan's like, oh shit, let's call the disposable brown people, also known as the Clone Army. Hey guys, help us out. And so all the disposable brown people start coming in, chat. I mean, I'm just telling you how I see it, chat. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. All right, I ain't being racist. Obi-Wan, on the other hand, you a little racist, Jay. There's some classism, racism going on with Obi-Wan. Look, I was thinking with the bidding. When I saw this years ago in school, some nerds said, there would be no fire space because there are no. And we would tell them, shut up. That's what we would say to them. Juice God! Ace Rock, welcome to stream. Hope you're doing very well. And so all the disposable brown people played by Tamara Morrison, Chad. It's CGI. It's very weird to me. Because they have Tamir Morrison come back for this movie, which, hey, I'm very happy for him because he's playing Boba Fett now. This is great. I can't wait to see the book of Boba Fett, chat. Dad bod Boba Fett. And they have him in this movie, but for whatever reason, he has like a layer of CGI on his face for everything. He's like, you're not real, Tamir Morrison. Tamir Morrison is not real in this movie. Ducky had everything with Triple B's. Laughing my ass off. Not disposable. Yeah, that's what they did, man. All the disposable brown Tamir Morrisons. They come in, and they all have like a layer of CGI. Like all the clone troopers. I don't think there was like a guy who wore clone trooper armor. They're all CGI characters. They're just like, which is weird to me. I was like, yeah, you're not a real person. I feel nothing for you, which is a huge mistake. But Dave Filoni corrected that mistake with the Star Wars Clone Wars series, the CGI one, where you actually started to care about the clones. Captain Rex and Echo and the Bad Batch, chat, and Commander Cody. Like they did interesting things with them, Gregor and stuff, the clone commandos. So, but here he's like weird CGI Tamir Morrison, and we'll back you up, General. Lock S foils into position. Get it? Like the X-wings lock S foils into. Anyway, so they start flying. And all the brown people start getting killed by the lasers. Anakin, who we find out is not a racist, unlike Obi-Wan Kenobi, because Obi-Wan's not Anakin's not a racist. Okay, he lived slavery. I mean, he had like a very ideal slave situation, apparently, chat. I guess he'd get to live in the big house with Watto and shit. Well, the rest of the slaves had to, had lived in fucking turmoil and horrible conditions. I mean, he did have the ideal slave situation, I guess, for Annie. But he's like, I want to save Tamir Morrison. And Obi-Wan's like, fuck him, all right? There's a billion more of them. Don't worry about it. We got a job to do. They're doing their goddamn job. And Anakin's like, okay, all right, Jesus. And the thing is, like, already off the bat, there's already tension between Obi-Wan and Anakin. I know you're in a stressful situation, but Jesus goddamn Christ, every time you see someone, what else would you consider them? I mean, man. The Clone Army, the idea of the Clone Army is kind of fucked. They are a slave army. It's messed up, man. It's messed up, crooked. I'm just telling you what I see. But they're still going towards the invisible hand. But then these vulture droids, they fire off these missiles, chat. These, not proton torpedoes, concussion missiles. And they have heat-seeking abilities. And so now Obi-Wan and Anakin got to do all these crazy moves in space. Anakin's the better pilot, so he's able to avoid the missiles. But fucking good old Benny Kenobi, he gets hit by a boom. But they're not going to explode on him, check, because they're filled with these little things called buzz droids. And they start tearing apart his ship, and they rip off his astromech droid, his R4. R4, watch out! And R4 gets his head ripped off. He's like, oh dear. He's like, doesn't give a shit about droids. Well, as we know, Ben Kenobi can give a shit less about droids, brown people, chat, and definitely his former apprentice, Anakin Skywalker. He's like, burn that motherfucker, kill the motherfucker. Yes, in a way, your father died from a certain point of view. Sure he did, Benny. But then Anakin sees this, and he gets behind good old Benny Kenobi, and he starts firing at the buzz droids, but he starts destroying Obi-Wan's ship. And he's like, this is not helping, Anakin. He's like, you know what? I agree with you, Master. And so then he flies right next to him and just starts scraping his ship like with his one wing to get all the buzz droids off. One of them gets on Anakin's ship, and then R2 has to basically duel this little buzz droid, and he shocks him. He shocks him with his little laser dildo, and he gets flung off. But at this point, Obi-Wan's ship's getting really fucked up. It's all fogged up now because they destroyed his coolant system, and so he can't see where he's flying. And Anakin's kind of like right next to him, so he's kind of guiding him into the invisible hand. But the shields are still up on the invisible hand, and so they're like, oh shit. And Anakin, the shields are still up. He's like, got it, Master. And he shoots the shields, chat, which then caused the shields to go down. But then this big fucking blast door is coming. I was like, we got to get in there now. So go, boom, they get really fast, and they go inside the hangar, and fucking Obi-Wan, he jumps out, he ejects out of his ship, and he starts slicing and dicing all these stupid Roger robots. All these droids. I'm sorry, but the battle droids are an interesting idea, and there's some intimidating ones that we see in like Star Wars Clone Wars and ancillary materials like the commando droids. Like those are really fucking cool, like assassin droids and stuff. And we see also some other cool droids in this movie. Like I actually like the idea of the buzz droids, and we're going to see the Magna Guards in a bit, Grievous's personal bodyguards. But these, you get the regular B1s and the B2s, the wrists, and they gave the B1s still the stupid fun. For whatever reason, Lucas decided to change the voice of the B1s in episode when we went from episode 1 to 2. In episode 1, they sound like Roger, like they're kind of deep voices, and then episode 2 they're like Roger, like they're really, it's like Tom Kenny voiced them, and they gave the same goddamn voices to the B2s, and they're like Roger. It's like, oh my god, I hate it. But they're slicing, dicing all this shit. And they locate the Chancellor. He's on this one floor. R2, you stay here, guard the ship so we can come back and fly out. Even though it's like, how the fuck you gonna fit Papa Palpatine in? It doesn't matter. We gotta come back to the hangar. You stay here, R2. You stay here. Eventually, Chad, we're introduced to the character of General Grievous, and he's coughing and shit. He knows the Jedi are out there. And the thing is, it's like, I hate this version of General Grievous because now it's the canon version. Because when this was not Grievous's first appearance in Star Wars material. The original appearance of Grievous was in the Jenny Tartakovsky's 2D Star Wars animated series. And he was fucking awesome. Like his debut episode, I remember specifically, it's when it was all these Jedi survivors. They're being surrounded by all these droids. They're like in this destroyed Republic capital ship, and they're holding out, and all the troops like stop firing them, and they're like, why'd they stop firing? And they're like, and then they hear like this shit in the rafters, and just Grievous comes down and he kills them. He slaughters them. He's super scary and intimidating. And it was like, why? And it was like, whoa, what a cool character. He's kind of like a proto Vader in a way, because he's like a cyborg. He only has like some of his intestines left, and his brain and his eyes. But like, what a fucking cool introduction, chat. And then he's like a coward in the movies. Thank you, Deadpool, for the 5 biddies. It's a living battle droids, pretty much. Thank you, good sir, for the 6 biddies. Not 5, 6. But I don't understand the decision that was made to just change him, because in that 2D series he's so intimidating and scary, and he's competent. Like, he's a good commander. He's one-on-one combat. He can kick your ass. And then for whatever reason, they're like, oh, yeah, he's a coward, and he'll always try to run away. And that was in this movie, and it's throughout the 3D Clone Wars series. And I was like, why? I don't understand that. Very weird. There's some back and forth, because I think he's, let me see, I think he's voiced by Matt Wood, I want to say. I think he's voiced by Matt Wood, General Grievous. There was a rumor that Gary Oldman was supposed to voice him, but that's unsubstantiated. We don't know if that's true. But I believe Matt Wood is the voice of General Grievous. And I hate the idea, and he's the sound designer. But I also really hate the idea that he has he's constantly coughing, which doesn't make him intimidating and all this. Oh, you're just gross. He's a gross coward. That's it. Such a lost opportunity with General Grievous, Chad. Like, he could have been a really cool character. He initially was a cool character, and they fucking blow it. They blow it. Eventually, Obi-Wan and Anakin, they're running towards the elevators. They get there. They're fighting all the droids and shit. But then the elevators, because fucking Grievous knows they're in the elevators, he shuts them down. And R2, they're asking R2, can you get your ass in here? Or excuse me, can you put in your robot dildo into the invisible hand ship and get the elevators working? R2's got some problems, Chad, because some super battle droids have come in and are investigating the Jedi starfighters. And he's like trying to stay away. But then they're fucking yelling at R2. He's like, God damn it, okay. And so then he goes over there, puts his dildo inside, starts turning around shit. Ooh, ee, ooh, ah, beep, bop, beep, boop. And the super battle droid's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you raping that wall? He's like, shit, it's okay. And they're like, it's not okay. And they take him out because like this, that wall did not give you consent. And then he just splurts out. He comes, Chad. He just comes, oil, some type of flammable substance all over the super battle droid, Chad. Activates his jetpack, which apparently he's always had, and he then burns the battle droids alive. He burns them alive, Chad. And they're like, life is pain. And then he puts himself back in the wall. And meanwhile, the elevator's all freaking out. Like at one point, Anakin, he's like, I'm gonna jury rig the cables outside. We'll be able to get up there. The thing just drops, and he has to hold on for dear life. As good old Benny Kenobi. He's like, as it's falling. Eventually, they get the elevator working. He jumps back, and he's like, oh, it's you. After that, they get to the floor where Papa Palpatine is being kept. They walk on in, and they see Papa Palpatine just in his chest, like, hello. Already looking fucking weird. And they walk up, it's like, Chancellor, are you okay? And he's like, Count Dooku. And they turn around, chat, and there's fucking Count Dooku. Now, apparently, I think this was either, like, between 1 to 3 days of filming for Christopher Lee, and this is it. Because they do, like, this guy who's supposed to be the leader of the Separatists. I know he's not really the leader. It's Papa Palpatine. It's Darth Sidious himself. But it's like, we had no time. We spent no time with Count Dooku as a character. And, like, he was at the last third of Attack of the Clones, and then here he is. He has maybe 5 minutes of screen, and that's it, and he's done away with. What a fucking lost opportunity. You have Christopher Lee, a fantastic actor who has been in, probably at this point in his career, hundreds of movies, played so many villains, and you just dropped, again, it's one of those balls that Lucas drops with you have this, oh my God, look at this golden egg. Oh no, you dropped it. It's such a shame. And And fucking Papa Palpatine's like, he's Anakin, Obi-Wan, he's a Sith Lord. There's no way you can beat him. And then fucking Obi-Wan has this line. He's like, Chancellor, Sith Lords are a speciality. It's like, are they? The guy that fucking sliced your fucking fat thigh and cut off your apprentice's arm in the last movie, that's your speciality? Okay, Darth Maul, I'll give you that one. But Count Dooku kick your ass. But, Count Dooku, he does this weird CGI flip, and you can tell, like, this is not Christopher Lee, because anytime they cut, or they pan like a medium, it's either a medium shot or a faraway shot, and it's not as bad, but it's still noticeable. In Attack of the Clones, when Count Dooku and Obi-Wan and Anakin are dueling, Christopher Lee has this giant engorged CGI head, because they had another actor, obviously, do all the action scenes, but he has this very just swollen looking CGI head, and it's like, that's not Christopher Lee. And it's the same here, but it's not as bad, it's not as swollen, but it's like, that's not him. And he fucking walks up and he's like, Anakin, Obi-Wan, remember when I kicked your asses on Geonosis? It's not like we fought each other for 3 years in the Clone Wars, because the Clone Wars have been going on supposedly, chat, for 3 years, but it doesn't matter. And Anakin, he's talking a lot of shit. He's like, my powers have doubled since the last time we fought, Count. And fucking Count Dooku is like, all right, twice the pride, double the fall. Let's fucking go, baby. And so they start, and it's a lame, it's not a great lightsaber duel, chat. It's better than the one in Attack of the Clones, but still not good. They're going at it. They're going back and forth. Fucking Count Dooku's throwing Obi-Wan around, he throws him, and then it's just Dooku and Anakin, and then they're going up some stairs and shit. Eventually, Dooku had these two super battle droid guards, and Obi-Wan's going up the other side of the stairs, and he cuts them up, and he slices and dices, and then they meet at the top, and Dooku's blocking them. Eventually, he grabs both of them midair and throws Obi-Wan, and he hits like the top of this platform, and then Dooku brings the platform, which I'm sorry would have cut his fucking legs off. He brings like this metallic platform, which probably weighs like 1,000 pounds. Let's say it's 1,000 pounds, chat. Brings it down on him, boom, right on his thighs and legs. I'm sorry, he would have cut his fucking legs off. Got him. Gotcha. Throwing out those fucking insults. Got ya. And so I'm sorry, but fucking Obi-Wan he would have metal legs. He'd have magic Lieutenant Dan legs at this point. But it's like, whatever. And then it's just Dooku and Anakin. And Dooku's just talking shit. And it's like, you should stop doing that, dude. You should really stop. Because he's like, they interlock their lightsabers. And Dooku's like, Skywalker, you have hate. I sense hatred in you. I sense anger, but you do not use them. Anakin's like, I'll fucking use them. And then he uses them, chat. And Dooku's like, oh shit, because there's this one move in the battle, which I did like, when they're battling in front of Palpatine, and Anakin just goes, bonk, he hits Dooku's lightsaber so hard, and Dooku's like, fuck, shit, okay, uh-oh. And so then they start going, and I'll give him this, Anakin does this cool fucking move on Dooku, where he basically holds his fucking hand in midair and goes, and he brings his hand down, basically grabs one of Dooku's, wrists, pulls him down, and then cuts both his hands off. He's like, oh! Grabs Dooku's lightsaber in midair. The Count falls to his knees, chat. Anakin's like, suck it. And Dooku's like, oh! I ain't talking shit anymore. Now you Count Dooku. And Papa, also during the duel, this is when we see the start of Ian McDiarmid's just overacting as Papa Palpatine, because he goes, the first thing he does, I'm like, oh, here it is. You see a little bit, you see a small smidgen of it. He goes, tell me I'm wrong. Right before we get to the iconic line, he goes, at this point, Papa Palpatine's like, very good, Anakin, good. Kill him. And then fucking Count Dooku does this look like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? No. But for whatever reason, he doesn't say shit. Like, if I was Count Dooku, I'd be like, he's Darth Sidious, he's behind everything, but he's just like, he's in like a state of shock. I mean, you just had your fucking hands cut off. So I guess you're like, what? Well, there's a lot going on. Got to give the Count Dooku chair. There's a lot going on right now. But he's like, what? His fucking look kills me. And then Anakin's like, I don't think I should do it. It's not the Jedi way. And then Palpatine's like, do it. Do it. And Anakin's like, wah! And cuts his head off. And Dooku's like, oh, and cuts Dooku's head off. And you see the head tumble over. You actually see the head. And then and then Chancellor Palpatine's like, good, Anakin, good. And he's like, I shouldn't have done that. It's not the Jedi way. And Palpatine's like, hey man, yeah, you just did what came natural to you, okay? All right? He cut off your arm. Remember when he cut off your arm? Man, that was a dick move. And you want revenge. I mean, it's very similar to, your mother and the Sand People. Remember when you told me that story? And we hear the, we hear the Sand People in the background shit. And so Anakin's clearly been sharing a lot with Papa Palpatine. He's very much a father figure in the same way that Obi-Wan is. Maybe Papa Palpatine even more so as a father figure to Anakin at this point in their lives. But they're like, we got to get going. And so thank you, W's reads the 10 biddies. Palpatine looked like he was jerking the chroma watch. He's like, this is hilarious. There I go, killing again. Fucking Anakin keeps doing it. Harbor, one thing that to me is the idea of Dooku being so stunned to say anything was actually because really, it was. That's just really, it's really weird to me. In the Star Wars Revenge of the Sith novel, the novel adaptation, there's a scene. I don't know if this is intended for the movie, but it wasn't. Or it wasn't in obviously the theatrical release. But there was a scene beforehand where Dooku and Palpatine are just talking, because it's a whole scheme. It's all part of Palpatine's plan to get, Anakin to fall to the dark side, to take control of the Senate, to kill the Jedi, etc., etc. But there was a scene when it's just before Anakin and Obi-Wan get there, where they're just talking to each other, and that's when we find out that Dooku's like a big time racist. Like, he really hates aliens. He just like, you know what? Fuck all these gross, weird green, purple, orange people. All right, fuck them. All right, I can't wait to when we form our own empire when it's you and I, and we can just have humans on top. And it'll be great. And Palpatine's like, yeah, it'll be great. Which he will, have his racist empire, because there's like no aliens, with the exception of, Grand Admiral Thrawn and shit. But for the most part, it's like, yeah. He's just placating Dooku. It's like, of course I'll do that. Of course. Sure. So there was that was a scene in the novel, but which is not included here. I mean, another Dooku scene. But we learned that Dooku's he doesn't like them aliens. He's a bit of xenophobic, a little bit of a racist. But then Palpatine, he starts walking away, and Anakin's trying to get Obi-Wan out of the fucking nearly ton of metal that fell on top of him. And Palpatine's like, yeah, what are you doing? He's like, I got to get him out of here. Anakin, leave him. There's no way you can carry him back. He's dead already. And he's like, then we'll die together. And Palpatine's like, fucking, okay, sure, let's take him. Fine. Because he wants Obi-Wan to die, because he doesn't want any other influences on Anakin other than, Palpatine's own. And so he's like, all right, let's fucking take him, I guess. And so then they start moving. They go to the elevator, but the elevator's not working. And the ship, at this point, that we cut to the ship outside, or the Invisible Hand is engaged in a battle with another Republic-class Venerator destroyer. Thank you, Ty. Thank you so much for the 15 biddies. Is the Spider-Man trailer out? Did it just come out right now? Was it just released, or is this the leak? Or is this the leak? So I posted it? All right. Chat, we're gonna pause the review. We're at the elevators, and we're at the battle. We're at the battle of between the Invisible Hand and the Republic Venerator. So we're gonna pause the review. This is going to be a long night, chat, but I got to get back to this Revenge of the Sith review, okay? We were at the elevators, chat, so fucking Papa Palpatine, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin, they got to get on the elevators, chat. But, meanwhile, outside the Invisible Hand, chat, the Invisible Hand's engaged in a bit of a starship duel, if you will, with a Republic cruiser, Venerator-class destroyer, chat. And it starts getting hit and shit, and the Invisible Hand just starts, for whatever reason, starts falling very fast in space. Like, they're not in the atmosphere of Coruscant. They're above the planet, but they're not in the atmosphere. We'll see when they're in the atmosphere, but they're not. And that fucking thing just starts falling like a rock. It should just kind of like float in space. So again, physics and there's fire in space. It doesn't make any sense. Physics and stars makes no sense. But this thing starts fucking falling like a rock. And Grievous is like, use the boosters, and reverse the boosters. And the droids start reducing them boosters, chat. But meanwhile, because the ship is falling in a weird way, perpendicular, chat, vertically falling down. Fucking Papa Palpatine and Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin, they're just running down the elevator shaft, and then the ship starts to right itself. They're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. So they start sliding down until fucking Anakin grabs on a ledge of Obi on his shoulder. And Papa Palpatine is weird because it's weird to see Palpatine like an action scene. Because again, like the last time we've seen him, or all the films that we've seen Palpatine in at this point, we Return of the Jedi, he's like, he's sitting in that chair, he does the lightning, and in 1 and 2, he's just talking and sitting and shit. And the scene like an action is just weird because he grabs onto Anakin's leg and he's like, like holding on for dear life. Obi-Wan eventually comes to. He's like, fucking shit, because he's like holding on. He's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's like, I've saved you, Master. He's like, great job. It's like, come on, man. Now's not the time to be chastising him. He saved your life. Eventually, they're like, okay, we gotta fucking get down. But the thing is, this elevator is coming right at them. They're like, oh, god damn it, we just gotta drop. They fucking drop. They grab onto a rope, and they just swing themselves immediately into this open elevator door, and boom, they're on the floor. Papa Palpatine's doing okay, Obi-Wan's doing okay, Anakin's doing okay. And like, okay, we gotta get our Tookuses moving. So they start running down the hallway. At this point, eventually cut back to Grievous. The droids are this one very racist alien. The Asian stereotype is like, we have seen them in the hallways, General. And it's like, put down the shield pods, or where the fuck they are. And they put down these shield pods, then circle Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Papa Palpatine. And they're like, oh shit, we got captured. And fucking Obi-Wan's like, wait, we were better than this. We can't get captured. And Anakin's like, Master, patience. He's like, don't you fucking sass me, pretty boy. He's like, listen, let's just wait. R2, he's going to come around that corner, and he's going to get out of this mess. He's going to put his fucking metallic dildo in a wall. Boom, beep, bop, beep, boop. We're golden. And lo and behold, fucking R2 goes out through a door, slams into the wall. It looks like he was running from something. But Anakin's like, see? But then we see all these fucking droids that were following, all these super battle droids and B1 battle droids, and these other battle droids come from all directions, and fucking Obi-Wan's like, oh yeah, I see. And so then they are led to the command center, the command bay of one General Grievous. And General Grievous is like, General Kenobi, the great negotiator. And he's like, how you doing, General? Because they, General Grievous and Obi-Wan, they're like rivals in the Clone Wars, especially in the animated series. Well, in the 3D animated series. Now, the thing is, Anakin and General Grievous have never met each other. And it's funny because Dave Filoni, when he created the series, when he was showrunning it for all those years, he never had, in order to keep this canon, in order to not contradict this scene in Revenge of the Sith, Anakin and Grievous never encountered each other until this very moment. They may have been in the same place at the same time, but they never actually met each other. They never fought each other, and which is very interesting to me. And so General Grievous, he like takes fucking 2 lightsabers, like, 2 lightsabers, 2 more for my collection. And he puts them in his fucking cape cloak thing. And then he's like, yeah, General Skywalker, given your reputation, I thought you'd be older. And Anakin's like, General Grievous, I thought you'd be taller. And that was it. That's the line. He's like, Jedi scum. It's like, well, okay. Is that supposed to? I thought she'd be taller. Do you think it was like a callback to the Stormtrooper thing? Aren't you a little short for a Stormtrooper? Are you a little short for being a disgusting cyborg man? I don't know. It's weird. Thank you. Thank you for doing this. Your lightsabers will make a fine addition to my collection. Opens pocket, shows 1 lightsaber. I know. He has one. Well, we don't know what's on the other side. But apparently Grievous, again, the Clone Wars, has killed a shit ton of Jedi, uses their lightsabers in combat. We don't know that yet. He puts them in there at that point. And fucking, he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna execute you. But like, oh no, because they fucking, Anakin and Obi-Wan, they're Jedi, man. They can use the Force and shit. And so they just instantly take their lightsabers back and they slice out of their, their handcuffs, and then they kill all the B1s. But then we get the introduction of a pretty cool droid, the Magna Guards, and these guys they use these electrical like staffs on either end, like an electrical node, and they start fighting Obi-Wan and Anakin. And Grievous is like, oh shit, get them, and he's just always backing away. He's always trying to like, he's a coward. It sucks. Like in the original 2D series, he was a badass fighting Jedi and stuff. Here's like, no. And so the Magna Guards are fighting Anakin and Obi-Wan and shit. Meanwhile, one of the B1s is like dragging Papa Palpatine away. He's like, no. Oh yeah, I think that's the thing. R2 freaks out. That's what. R2 freak out. R2 just fucking spazzes out, and he surprises all the droids. And that's when Anakin and Obi-Wan grab their lightsabers and shit. Eventually, they get the B1s away from Palpatine. They release him. He goes, "Ugh." He makes a face like, because his hands are behind him. He goes, "Ugh," and shit. But they release him. And eventually, Grievous is like, fuck, I gotta get out of here. But then Obi-Wan and Anakin are like, you ain't going anywhere, General. It's like, now it's time for you to die, General Kenobi. And he takes one of the Magna Guard's staffs and he puts it into the window of the command center, and cool move by Grievous. I will give him this. And he gets sucked out. He gets sucked out and like into the vacuum of space, and like Anakin and Obi-Wan and Palpatine's like holding on and shit. And Grievous launches like a grappling hook and attaches the ship and like walks on the surface of the invisible hand until he gets to an escape pod. And then he gets in there and goes, literally sits down, goes, if I had the mustache, I would twirl it. And goes, time to abandon ship. Launches all the escape pods as the ship is fucking going down. And so he's away. Anakin checks. He launched all the fucking escape pods. Obi-Wan's like, what the hell are we going to do? He's like, well, we got to fucking land this ship somehow. Anakin's like, we got to land this ship. And so they're now entered the atmosphere of Coruscant. But during this process, because of the burning hot atmosphere, chat, half the ship detaches. And Anakin's like, well, at least we're still piloting half of a ship. And Palpatine's just sitting there looking at R2. He's like, does this usually happen? Is this what usually happens? Okay. Like him and R2, Papa Palpatine, like two characters you would ever expect to have a moment. Have like a fucking moment, chat. Like, listen, I'm evil, you're good, but we might fucking die. So I'm just going to take this moment to, I'm like, are they going to make out? Like, what's going to happen between Papa Palpatine and R2-D2? Like, they locked eyes. Like, fuck, we might die. Eventually, this whole fucking thing's coming down, chat. And they have firefighter starships, which I think is very funny. And they start firing water at the invisible hand, the last half of it. Crash it. They have a landing pads, like an airport or something. Crashes down, takes out like a fucking tower, like an airport tower. It's like people probably worked in there. But eventually it skids to a halt. And they're like, we fucking did it. It's like, it's great. And everyone's evacuated from the ship. Well, Papa Palpatine, Obi-Wan, and Anakin, and R2 are. And they get out there, and fucking they're at the entourage. Palpatine's entourage is there, but also the Jedi Council. And Mace Windu's like, Papa Palpatine, it's so good to see that you're alive. He's like, well, I must say, Master Windu, my thanks goes to the Jedi, particularly that young man, Anakin Skywalker. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and steal more power from the Senate. Goodbye, everybody. He walks off. Obi-Wan and Anakin, they have a little conversation with Windu. Oh, and Windu is just like, hey, Anakin, great job on fucking murdering Count Dooku. We love Anakin's like, yeah. Like, the Jedi are, like, proud of him. And it's like, you talk about you're trying to take him prisoner, but I guess, he might have lied on the details, chat. Wasn't too very honest about them deets. And so it's like, we had to kill him. I think even Mace Windu was like, Dooku was too evil to keep alive or some shit, which I guess is, lays down the foundation, foreshadowing for when he's like, yeah, we got to kill Palpatine, fuck him later on in the movie. Maybe, I don't know. But he's like, you killed Count Dooku, good job, kid. And so Obi-Wan goes off with Yoda. Yoda's like, I'm here too. And he goes off with Mace Windu. But because Anakin, he spots a very wide-looking Padme Amidala. She's like, Annie. And so he goes over to her, and they start smooching and shit. But she's like trembling. It's like, what's wrong? You're trembling. And she's like, Anakin, something wonderful has happened. And he's like, what? What is it? She goes, Annie, I'm pregnant. And he's like, oh. And he takes off running. He gets his little caboose out of there. She's like, fuck that. And the thing is, like, Padme, she's both, like, excited, but also a little concerned when she's revealing that, because they're in a secret fucking marriage. No one knows about it. Well, some people obviously know about it. 3PO and R2 do. And Obi-Wan's like, I know you probably got hitched. But I love it how he is not excited about this. You could see his face. He goes, yeah, I'm so happy. And she's like, really? He goes, yep. Call me Hazel. Thank you so much for describing 11 months, almost a full year. You have almost obtained the Clear Whiskey sub badge. Thank you, Carmen Hazel. Absolute pleasure to have you. Happy Pandas. Currently in the middle of my review for Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Revenga of the Sith. But he's like, oh yeah, this is the happiest day of my life. Like, he's like, this is not good. He's like, this is gonna be a problem. The thing is, what's weird to me, because right after this scene, it's very confusing, where there's a couple other scenes, but it's like she's noticeably like 8 to 9 months pregnant. And I'm like, did you not know? I guess because he mentions, like, I was busy with the Outer Rim sieges and shit. But it's like, you didn't know that she was pregnant at all, like in holograms and stuff. You just figured it. Very weird. Very weird. I don't know how much time passes between this moment and everything else, but she is like, I'm a couple weeks before giving birth. It's like very confusing. Duncan Henry, thank you so much for extending your subscription all the way through November. Thank you so much for that incredible support. I gotta go to the store and get. He is one battle away from going to the store and getting some cigarettes and some milk. That's what he is. After everyone else thought that was maybe they just thought she was fat. Well, it's funny because in the Clone Wars, this 3D animated series, they show her like a little bit of a baby bump in the Bad Batch episodes and the first part of that. Oh, we got a hype train. We got a hype train, chat. Maybe Falcon's put on 50 pounds. I don't know. It's very weird. But he's like, Pat, man, you're getting kind of fat. He never mentions it. Chat, we're getting hype in the middle of a review. Oh my God. Don't even think of the 5 biddies. And again, thank you so much to Ace Rock for gifting a sub to Mac. Good old Mark Comes. Good old Mark Comes. Chat, look, the buzzing of the biddy. Hey, I can get you a good space abortion on Tatooine. They do up to 8 months. Oh no. Oh no. Chat, you know what that means? We gotta put a pause in this review again. It's gonna be a hard one for Alex Pinal to edit. I'm sorry, buddy. Now we gotta go back. Get to the review. So chat. Excuse me. We are at the point when Padme reveals the pregnancy of Anakin, and he is none too fucking pleased. He's like, oh yeah, this is the happiest day of my life. She's like, really? He goes, yeah, it is. It definitely is. After that shit, after the Padme pregnancy reveal, we then cut to General Grievous. As we know, he escaped, and he's traveling to the planet of Utapau, chat. He lands on the sink. It's a planet filled with sinkholes, where this culture has built all of their cities within these giant sinkholes, which is kind of a cool. I like Utapau is like a cool design. I kind of like that. But he goes there, he lands his fucking ship, and he goes up to this command station, and he gets good old Darth Sidious on the line because he's like, wow, shit, I gotta tell Darth Sidious about everything that's been fucking happening. And so he gets there, beep bop boop, gets Darth Sidious up through. He's like, oh, Sidious, listen, man, a lot of crazy shit's been happening. Darth Sidious is like, Grievous, don't worry about it, buddy. I got you. Listen, the war is going to come to an end very, very soon. And Grievous is like, what do you mean? I would have been like, wait, what do you mean by that? But he's like, but the death of Count Dooku. He's like, that was a necessary sacrifice. Fuck Count Dooku, whatever the fuck his name was, Darth Tyrannus. I forget. I don't remember anymore. No, listen, I got someone else who's going to replace him in a bit, and I want you to take all the separatist leaders, Newt Gunray, fucking Wat Tambor, the other ones. Take them to the lava planet of Mustafar, and I'll take care of them. Wink. And Grievous is like, okay. he's like, all right, sounds good. Sounds good to me. We then cut. We're back with Anakin, Padme's like, I'm so pregnant. She's like combing her hair on a balcony. Luke, the boss of the video, Darth Tyrannosaurus Rex. Like, Darth Tyrannus is a really fucking cool name. Like, Darth Tyrannosaurus. Like, that's a badass name. And they rarely ever use. They call him Count Dooku. So I was like, that's lame. She'll want Darth Tyrannus throughout the series. Anyway, whatever. Because the idea of Count Dooku is cool, but they just, again, cool idea. The missed opportunity. Failed at the execution, chat. We then cut back to Coruscant where she's fucking combing her hair. And then we get, again, it's more really awkward dialogue between Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman. And it's not their fault. It's just that clunky romance dialogue. She's like, Annie, I want to have my baby on Naboo. And I'm going to go back to the island where we had the sex. We had the field sex with the big gas bag, sheep monsters. And I'm going to put the crib right in the in the grass and shit, and it's gonna be so great. And he's like, Padme, I love you. She's like, no, I love you even more. He's like, no, I love you. And then she says, so love has blinded you? And it's like, oh my God, this fucking dialogue, P.U. He's like, no, that's not what I fucking said. Jesus Christ. You know, everything's gonna be great. I'm very excited about the baby, very excited about Naboo. But she's like, what about the Jedi Council? He's like, don't worry about the Jedi. Listen, you work on cooking that baby in that oven right now, okay? Epi, thank you for resubscribing. Love you, handsome Navy. Epi, I love you. I love you, Epi. Welcome. Thank you so much for your support. We're currently, Padme's cooking a baby. Well, technically, it's 2 buns, but we don't know that yet. We know that, but Anakin doesn't know that. This is weird. So apparently, Padme is completely unaware that she's pregnant with twins. Even though they live in a civilization that has advanced medical technology. You know, and like she's unaware that she's pregnant with twins. Doesn't even look like she's pregnant with twins, but whatever. Well, moving on. And he's like, it's gonna be great. You know, you just concentrate. You don't stress out your pretty little head. Being very dismissive. Padme, her whole. Again, all she does is cry and be pregnant in this movie. That is it. She cries, she's pregnant, she cries, and she dies. She does those 3 things, and that's fucking it. That's all she does. And even like in episode 2, she actually gets like, okay, whether it's good or not, she gets like a cool action scene at, you know, the Geonosis and stuff. She has things that she does. And episode 1, you know, she got a cool outfit on. She's moving, she's talking to people. Here, you just be pregnant, cry a bunch, and then die at the end of the movie. You know, I lost the will to live. You just lose the will to live, honey, okay? It's awful. But then later that night, Anakin's having bad dreams, and Padme's like, oh, God, I gotta poop him out. She's pooping out the babies, and apparently, Chad, she died, like, mid-poop, and Anakin's like, oh, he wakes up. He's very stressed out about it, and then he goes... He goes and hangs out on a balcony, and then Padme's like, what's wrong? Come back to bed. I want to snuggle. And he's like, no, I'm working things out. And she's like, no, tell me what's wrong. I can tell something's wrong. He's like, I'm having bad dreams. And she goes, oh, what about? He's like, you die in childbirth. And she's like, don't worry, I'm okay. He's like, no, Padme, I promise you, you will not die in childbirth. Can you keep that promise, Annie? Cannot, Chad. He cannot, but he doesn't know that. He does not know that. But then she's like, well, listen, why don't we just go and ask for, like, Obi-Wan's help with this if you're concerned? And he's like, I don't need Obi-Wan's help. And she's like, okay, well, maybe we should talk. She's like, no one will help us. We're going to do this by ourselves. And then immediately goes and talks to Yoda and asks for help from Yoda. And Yoda's like, what do you wish to talk about, young Skywalker? And he's like, there's someone who I know who I'm afraid is going to die. And Yoda's just like, death happens to all. Accept it, you must. And he's like, I really don't want to just accept it, Yoda. He's like, you should do it. Close to you. This person is to you, they are. And he's like, they're pretty close. He's like, tread carefully, young Skywalker. A Jedi cannot have such attachments. He's like, but the Jedi are supposed to be selfless and care for everyone. Don't contradict me, you will. And he's like, all right, thanks for nothing, Yoda. And so after that, the Jedi have like a little fucking meeting about the war and shit. Mace is very concerned about Papa Palpatine. He's taking on more emergency powers, and they don't know if he's going to be letting them go. But Anakin's like, but I fucking like Papa Palpatine. And Mace Windu's like, I don't like him. Yoda's like, you like him? I do not. And then eventually, you know, Anakin and Obi-Wan are talking by themselves. And even fucking Obi-Wan's like, listen, be careful of your pal Palpatine there, all right? I mean, I don't know about him. He's like, why? He's always done right by me. He's been a good guy. He's helped the Republic. Yes, I'm sure he has. He's been like a father figure to you. But listen, Anakin, okay? The guy keeps getting more and more power for himself. He's centralizing the government. He's not supposed to do that, okay? It's now it's in the fucking galactic constitution, all right? You know, so be careful. He's like, whatever. Eventually, Anakin goes and talks to Palpatine. A lot of talking. This is a lot of talking between the next action scenes. We've got a cool action scene. Whether or not it was cool, it's debatable. But it was an action scene, I'll say that. And now a lot of fucking talking. And then good old Anakin goes and visits Palpatine. And Palpatine's like, oh, my boy, come. And they're all just talking things like, listen, Anakin, I know the Jedi haven't exactly been very trusting of me lately, but I just want to say, I think you're great. I think what you've been doing has been fantastic. I see that you're destined to be one of the greatest Jedis in all of history. And hey, I want to be there for that. I want to be a part of history. And Anakin's like, oh, Senator, or, Chancellor, please. He's like, no. You're what's important. Like, Palpatine just, all he does is he does the thing that Obi-Wan does not. Like, Palpatine compliments Anakin. He's very encouraging, but he's also he wants Anakin to focus on certain things which are selfish. They are self-interested. They're for him. It's interesting. All to goad him into eventually abandoning the Jedi. Like, it's very smart. Like, the whole I love the idea of the manipulation that Palpatine does on Anakin to get him over to his side. It could have been done. It could be done infinitely better, no question. But I just really love that idea. This guy's always been with him. I wish we saw more of that throughout the trilogy. Really should have started seeing that in episode 1, personally. But this is what we got. But I like that he's like, listen, Anakin, I trust you with my life. You are the greatest Jedi I've ever met. And I would really appreciate it if you can be my representative on the Jedi Council. And Anakin's like, but I'm not a master. He's like, well, they're gonna have to grant you the rank of master since you're gonna be my representative, silly. That's how it has to happen. And he's like, oh, I guess so. And this is what Anakin wants. He wants to be master because he wants power for himself. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'll die. I want to save my wife. But that fucker wants power too, Chad. There's no doubt about that. And so then we get that fucking meme. He then goes to the council, and Mace Windu, he's just sitting there, and he's like, listen, we will grant your seat on the council, but we will not grant you the rank of master. Anakin's like, what? How dare you? It's insulting. That's never happened in the history of the council. It's unfair. And the fucking Samuel Jackson's like, motherfucker, you should be fucking happy. We're letting you sit there, okay? A Jedi died right there, so pop your keister down right there, okay? Take a seat, Master Skywalker. He's being very fucking facetious. He's like, okay. He fucking sits down, and everyone's like, well, after that little awkward conversation, what's the next item on today's agenda? What's next on the docket? And Ki-Adi-Mundi's like, the fucking Wookiees, man. For Ki-Adi-Mundi, he really cares about those Wookiees, and he's like, we gotta go ahead and help the Wookiees on fucking Kashyyyk, okay? And Yoda's like, special relationship I have with the Wookiees. Go to Kashyyyk, I will. Advise the troops, I will. And I'm like, all right, Yoda, you can go to Kashyyyk. And I think this is like Lucas's, in a way, apology for the Ewoks in Return of the Jedi. Like, okay, they were supposed to be Wookiees on Endor or whatever. But now here's your fucking Wookiee battle, and it's not great because they're all CGI. It's not cool, but whatever. There's like, here's your fucking Wookiees. Yeah. And so after the meeting, Anakin and Obi-Wan, they're talking. Anakin's very frustrated with the council. And Obi-Wan's like, listen, you gotta fucking chill out, man, okay? You've been given a very special thing to be on the council, okay? At your age, it's never fucking happened. All right? And he's like, but it's never happened in the history of Jedi. Like, there's never been a regular, just old, stupid, stinky Jedi Knight in the Jedi Council. You have to be a master, okay? It's insulting. And he's like, listen, you're going to be a master soon, okay? You are a great Jedi, all right? And listen, there's another thing. And he's like, what is it? There's a reason why we granted you your seat on the council. He's like, what is it? Mace and Yoda, we want you to spy on Palpatine. It's like, why? Because Anakin, he's fucking granting more power to himself, okay? And we need you to keep an eye on him, all right? We need to see what dealings, who he's talking to. Like, we don't know. We're not trusting him, okay? He's being very weird and cagey. Can you help us out? And he's like, but he's been like a father to me. He's like, yeah, I've been like a father to you too. Just do it. And he's like, fine, whatever. Okay, and then we cut, and then it's Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Mace in like one of those Republic gunships, and fucking Mace Windu's like, I don't trust that whiny little cracker shit. And Obi-Wan and Yoda are like, why? Because he's always been bitching, but apparently like Mace and Anakin like do not like each other. Like in expanded universe novels and even some of the series, that like Mace has always been very distrustful of Anakin. Basically just how his attitude is. He's like, nah, fuck this little guy. Fuck this man. He's always fucking complaining all the time. And, but then Yoda, because Yoda, Obi-Wan's like, well, he is the chosen one, right? And he goes, yeah, he's the chosen one to bring balance to the Force. Just to remind you, yeah, he's not going to turn evil. There's no way that the chosen one can turn evil, all right? Ain't going to happen. Mace is like, all right, if you say so. I mean, I hope so. Hope that's the case. Eventually, chat, we have another really boring conversation between Padme and Anakin. Anakin's just telling Padme about the Jedi want me to spy on Papa Palpatine. They don't trust him. They think he's grabbing more emergency powers. He's not going to let go of it. And Padme says, well, I mean, that's a legitimate concern. He is the most powerful chancellor in the history of the Galactic Republic that we know of. And it's concerning. I mean, the power of government should be in the hands of the people. And then he's like, You're sounding like a separatist. You're sounding like a rebel. Ooh, a rebel. And she's like, listen, I know we have our political disagreements, but I'm just concerned, all right? And I'm making a baby. And she's like, oh, your baby. I understand. Again, you just sit there and cook that baby and cry and die at the end of the movie. She's like, okay. Also, there is deleted scenes where Padme actually gets more to do, but it's more conversation stuff, where she actually starts the rebellion or gets certain figures that will inevitably start the rebellion, including Mon Mothma. So the actress who plays Mon Mothma in Rogue One is the same one who was supposed to play her in Revenge of the Sith. That's the same actress in all the deleted scenes. And there's all these scenes of her talking with these several senators who eventually form the rebellion. Bail Organa, he's there. And Bail Organa gets some scenes at the latter third of the movie, which we'll talk about. But those are scenes, but they were cut because the pacing, to kill the pace of the movie, which I understand. But hey, they get Padme more to do. Mace's spidey senses a tingle, and he's like, yeah, there's some fucking bullshit here. He knows something's up. He knows something's up. But then we get to probably one of the, again, some of the dialogue's a little rough. Hayden Christensen's acting is a little wooden here, but we do get to one of the best parts of the movie, and that's when Anakin goes to talk and talks to Palpatine at the opera, at the Space Coruscant opera. And so Anakin goes there, and Palpatine's like, "Oh, my boy, so good to see you. Let's chat." And he turns to like his staff. He's like, "Leave us." And he's like, "All right." Vocal, his voice changed a little bit. Anakin sits down, and Palpatine's like, "Listen, Anakin. I know that the Jedi don't trust me. I think that the Jedi are going to betray me." And Anakin's like, "No, Chancellor, they would never do that." He's like, "Anakin, let's be honest with each other, okay? I know that the only reason why they granted you your membership on the council, and by the way, the fact that they didn't grant you the rank of master, unheard of in the history of the galaxy. They insulted you. And I know that they don't trust me. And I know that the only reason why they had you granted your council, your seat on the council, is because you're here to spy on me. It's true." And Anakin's like, I don't know what to say. He's like, "Don't say anything. I don't blame you, Anakin. The thing is, I see your skills as a Jedi. You're far wiser than any of them, and they're holding you back. They're holding you back. See, the Force, it's so much bigger. It's so much bigger than what you think. The dark side, like the dark side. Think of the dark side, Anakin. That's one element of the Force. The Jedi and the Sith, there's not much difference between them. They have many similarities. And Anakin's like, but the Sith believe only in themselves. They're selfish. And Palpatine's like, and the Jedi are not, trying to betray the Republic, trying to take power from the government that protects the citizens of this vast galaxy. And it's like, they're not as selfish. And he's like, fuck, Anakin's getting like really confused at this point. He's like, listen, to truly understand the Force, you need to study all of its aspects, okay? Including some other ones that someone would consider to be, the dark side, for example, someone would consider to be unnatural. And Anakin's like, I don't think that's good. He's like, let me tell you something. Have you ever heard the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise? And Anakin's like, no. Well, it's not a story the Jedi would tell its pupils. Darth Plagueis was a powerful and wise Sith Lord. He amassed so much power that he could even prevent people he loved from dying. Anakin's like, whoa, he did? He's like, yeah, he did. Now, the thing was, though, he eventually amassed all of this power, and like anyone who amasses power, he was concerned that he would eventually lose it, which he did. But before he died, he passed on all of his knowledge to his apprentice. And funny enough, when the apprentice learned of all this knowledge, got everything from the master that he desired, attained that power, He killed him in his sleep. To think of it. All of that power and just to die in your bed. And Anakin is like, is it possible to learn this power? And Palpatine's like, not from a Jedi. It's like, ooh, it's a good fucking scene. Chris, you were convincing me to join the dark side way more than Sheev did. Thank you. Ah, yes, the sperm opera. Yeah, sperm opera. Oh, yeah, the Palpatine, speaking of the sperm, he also says, oh, yeah, fucking Plagueis head. He was so powerful that they mentioned midichlorians again. That's why I left it out. So I'm like, I'm going to do my own version of this speech because I think it's better. But he said, he had such power over the midichlorians that he could create life itself, which also apparently Palpatine and fucking Plagueis created Anakin. It doesn't matter. But, yeah, basically, he was so powerful, he could actually prevent those he loved from dying. And Anakin's like, really? And Palpatine's like, yeah, man. Yeah. He's like, can I learn this in the Jedi? He's like, no. Only from dark side people. Too bad you don't know any, huh? Kind of sucks. But after that, it's like, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. That's a really good scene. It is. No, it is. I'm like, there's some things you can improve upon it. You know, they have to include the midichlorian bullshit, but it's a good scene. I really like it. It helps with, you know, Anakin's fall to the dark side. I dig it. After this, chat, we cut to Yoda. He's on Kashyyyk, chat, and all the Wookiees are fighting the goddamn separatist, chat, and one's doing the like fucking, you know, Tarzan and shit, swinging like Chewbacca does on Endor in Return of the Jedi. We also see Chewbacca. Chewbacca's like, hi, I'm in the movie too. I literally don't do anything. They got Peter Mayhew to be in the suit, stand there, and Yoda eventually carries him to his little small rocket ship later in the film. But he is just window dressing. That is all Chewbacca does. Yoda calls the council. Oh, that's the other thing too. Papa Palpatine says, Anakin, listen. When he goes to the opera, my agents have acquired some information on Utapau. Apparently, some communication on Utapau. Apparently, General Grievous and the Separatist leaders are hiding there right now. You can go ahead and get this to the council and let them know, and we can, you know, do an invasion. We can invade Utapau and liberate the people, bullshit, and kill or capture Grievous and bring an end to this war. Great, huh? And so Anakin brings it to the council, and, you know, Anakin's like, so, yeah, I got this information from Papa Palpatine, and he also asked that I lead the invasion of Utapau. And they're like, I mean, listen, we're pretty distrustful of Palpatine right now. I mean, cool that he gave us this information, but, yeah, we don't want him to lead that invasion. And Kiara Munde's like, he was on Megiddo, is like, why doesn't Obi-Wan Kenobi lead? He has much more experience than this non-master son of a bitch right here, Anakin Skywalker. And Obi-Wan's like, well, that is true. And it's like, agreed. I agreed. Obi-Wan Kenobi, you will go to Utapau and you will apprehend General Grievous and bring an end to the war and be a hero. And everyone's like, yay. Anakin's like, you fucking sons of bitches. He's pissed. Eventually, after this chat, Anakin and Obi-Wan, like, Obi-Wan's getting ready to go to Utapau for the invasion shit. He's talking to some CGI Tamara Morrisons and stuff. But Anakin goes, Obi-Wan, he says, listen, Master, I just want to apologize to you. I've been very rude. I've been stubborn. I've been ignorant. And I just want to tell you that you are the greatest Jedi I've ever known, and I really appreciate your teachings. And Obi-Wan's like, Anakin, listen, I understand your frustration. I totally get it. You will be a master someday, and I am proud of you. You are a far better Jedi than I could ever hope to be, okay? So I'll see you in a bit. I'm going to go end the war. I'm going to see you in a bit. See you next time, huh, buddy? We'll get some drinks. We're going to have a good time. We're going to go watch some pod racing. I know you love pod racing. Yippee. All right, see ya. And so he leaves in a fucking transport ship. He gets the hell out of Dodge. Eventually, good old Anakin, he has more bad Padme dreams, chat. She's all, oh, I'm dying. I can't front poop. She can't front poop that last one out, chat. She's just stuck. And she dies. And then fucking Anakin, he's just like, oh, God, I don't know what to do. I'm very confused. I don't know what to do. Anakin asked us, and pretty much, yes. Thank you for moving the debate. He's heading off the DT now. Hope everyone has a great night. Knowing everyone have a fantastic evening. Thank you for stopping the stream. My heart's a pitter-patter. And he's like, I don't know what to do. I'm confused. I'm so confused and shit. Also, Padme comes in. Thank you, Brad, for the 5 biddies. Appreciate that. Very, very kind. What was it? Oh, yeah. So after he's all sad and shit, Padme comes in because he senses Obi-Wan. He's like, hey, Padme, was Obi-Wan here? She goes, yeah, he stopped by. He want to talk to me. He goes, what do you want to talk about? This is when he gets really creepy. He gets super creepy Annie here. He's like, well, what do you guys talk about? And he goes, well, he was concerned about you. And he goes, why? About why? He says, you're like really stressed out and you're acting like a fucking dickwad. And he's like, well, Jesus Christ, Padme, there's a lot on my mind. I mean, we've got the fucking war and I got to deal with being a spy for Papa Palpatine and the Jedi don't trust me. And it's like, oh, it's hard. And she goes, listen, I'm cooking babies in my tum-tum right now, okay? We're going to go on Naboo. We're going to have some hot pregnancy sets. I'm gonna go ahead and poop these guys out, and it's going to be great. And it sound good? And he's like, yeah, and they kiss and shit. After that, we then cut to Utapau, Obi-Wan. He's in the fleet, and he's talking to a whole bunch of really CGI-heavy Tamara Morrison's chat. I'm like, these guys are not real. They look so fucking fake. And they're all like, but it's like different types of Tamara Morrisons. Like this Tamara Morrison has a weird haircut. This one has long hair. This one's bald. And they're all like, one's a different age than the other one. It's like, this looks awkward. It's just like, the fact that they, for whatever reason, decided to CGI all the clone troopers was a huge mistake. I don't know why they did that. It just looks fucking weird to me. It's like, okay, none of this is real. That's why you're not connected to the clone troopers at all until the animated series, the 3D animated series, where you get to learn about some of them. Wow, these are some of the best characters in the show, like Captain Rex and shit, like Echo, of course, and Jesse, all those guys. But he's talking to them, and I was like, all right, General, you'll go meet with the governor of Utapau or some shit. This really tall guy who played the mouth of Sauron, I believe, in Return of the King. You'll talk to him, and he'll tell you about the shit. And, Tamara Morrison's like, well, save some for the rest of us. And fucking Obi-Wan's like, well, you better get your brown asses down there. Always the racism, General Kenobi. Jesus Christ. As I established in my review chat, Obi-Wan refers to the clones as the Browns. So I'm like, that's not very PC, Obi-Wan. But he flies down there in his Jedi Starfighter chat. He stops at a little hangar, and this weird fucking gross guy just walks out. I'm like, ah. And Utapau or whatever the fuck they're called. Take care, woman. That's pretty much. She big preggers. But he comes out with his big stick. He's got this, he looks like a Count Dracula, Count Orlok looking guy, Nosferatu, son of a bitch. And he's like, ah. And Obi-Wan's like, hey, man, well, how's things been? He's like, fucking General Grievous is here, along with all the separatists. We're being held hostage. We don't want to be a part of this war, okay? We did not agree with the separatists. And Obi-Wan's like, don't worry about it, buddy. I'm going to get you out of here, okay? But I got to be super sneaky about it. And he's like, all right, we'll supply you with like a cool bird lizard dragon thing. He's like, a bird lizard dragon? Yeah, man, it's going to be awesome. Fuck yeah, bird lizard dragon. And so then the ship seemingly blasts off with Obi-Wan like he went inside of it. And he went away, and these Magna Guards are watching from like some other cliffside. But apparently he didn't go back in the ship. I don't know how he did this. It doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe some other fucking schmuck put the robe on and flew back up. I have no idea. But chat, he is now on Utapau. He's just hanging out there right now. What happens? Oh yeah, eventually, chat. After this. He's riding on the lizard thing, and he's going all around the city. He's very quiet. It's going, well, actually, I like the lizard bird thing. It's pretty cool. And he gets on like these rafters, and he's up there with the bird lizard, and he observes General Grievous. He observes General Grievous talking to the separatist leaders, and he's basically telling Newt Gunray and shit like, listen, guys, I'm going to send you to a lava planet called Mustafar. You'll be safe there. Newt Gunray's like, fuck that, droid boy. I ain't going there. After the death of Count Dooku, I don't have a lot of confidence in you. And General Grievous is like, I will fucking choke a bitch if you ever sass me again, Newt Gunray. Newt Gunray's like, all right, shit. And he's like, your fucking shuttle awaits. And they all waddle off to the shuttle, chat, to go to Mustafar. And fucking General Kenobi, who's the master strategist, is like, okay, I'm outnumbered. There are hundreds, if not thousands of battle droids here. General Grievous is there. I'm just going to jump down and say hello. And he literally just jumps down, chat, and again, memes. Hello there. And that's it. Everyone's like turns around and go, oh, fuck, there he is. And General Grievous is like, General Kenobi. I was expecting you. And he's like, all right, let's fucking go. And General Grievous is like, nah, I ain't doing that. Magna Guards take him. And all these Magna Guards start like walking towards him, like 4 or 5 of them. They're like, we're going to get you. And then Obi-Wan's doing the whole, like, I'm going to get you with my lightsaber stance. But then, he tricks him. It's a good scene. Or he brings down this big anvil-esque thing, crushes the battle droids, and kills him. One tries to, like, get away, but he slices it. And General Grievous is like, all right, I'm gonna be cool now. I'm gonna be cool. I've been kind of super lame. I've been a coward. I have a cough, which is not a cool, aesthetic feature. But I'm gonna do something cool. Back the fuck up, battle droids. And it's like, little do you know, Kenobi, is that Count Dooku has trained me in your Jedi arts of lightsaber combat. And he removes his cloak and he takes out these 4 lightsabers. His arms disconnect, which is, I like this idea. His arms disconnect and shit, and he starts like spinning all these lights. You must know that you are doomed. And he's all gross in the eyes and shit. And then they start lightsaber battling. The thing is, like in all the lightsaber battles, especially in Revenge of the Sith, the best lightsaber battle in the prequels is still Obi-Wan Kenobi, Qui-Gon Jinn, Darth Maul. That is the best one. It's a little more flourishy than the ones in the original trilogy, but I get it. It's still grounded though. This one, I don't know what the fuck is going on because there's so many glowing lights and it's filmed so up close that it's like, I'm just seeing a green and blue light. That's it. And then Grievous starts going in there. Like, I love the idea of him using 4 lightsabers at once. That's so fucking cool. But how they shoot it, it's bad. It's very, very bad. I don't like the framing. I don't like the blocking of this fight scene. And they're going at it. And Obi-Wan's like, I mean, we've done this literally dozens of times throughout the Clone Wars animated series, but it had not been established yet, so we don't know. But he just starts cutting off his fucking limbs. He's like, oh, shit. So he only has two hands left. But then the Republic has invaded. Bah, 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 all that shit. And all the CGI people start fighting the other CGI people. And then Obi-Wan chases the CGI general, on his big wheel. Somehow General Grievous managed to obtain the vehicle, Big Wheel, which is piloted by Big Wheel from the Amazing Spider-Man comic book series. And it's straight up what it is, Shed. He fucking gets in this thing, and it's like his giant fucking wheel, and he's running over clone troopers and shit, while Obi-Wan Kenobi chases after him in his bird dog lizard mount. And that's what happens there. Eventually, Chad, we then cut to a meeting of the Jedi Council, and they're talking about how Obi-Wan has engaged General Grievous, is fighting on Utapau and shit. It's like, great meeting. And Mace Windu and Yoda tell Anakin, okay, you can go ahead and inform the Chancellor of the battle on Utapau. He's like, okay, sounds good. And he leaves. So once they wait until Anakin's gone, they're like, all right, bye, Anakin. See ya. Okay, so I don't know what, guys, but I'm kind of feeling a little sketchy here. I'm sensing a plot to destroy the Jedi. Like, Mace he waited until Anakin was out the fucking door. He was watching him like, okay, white boy. All right, yeah, definitely I'm sensing a plot to destroy the Jedi here. And Yoda's like, hey, agree with you, I do. And I'm like, okay, we're in agreement. So this is some weird shit. Like, what are we planning? What do you want you guys to do? I mean, we might have to grab power from Palpatine. We might have to arrest him. If he does not give up his emergency powers after the capture of General Grievous and at the end of the war, we might have to hold him prisoner. And Yoda's like, fucking shit. This is, fucked up shit this is. Yeah, Yoda, I agree. I mean, we gotta tread very carefully. The dark side clouds all it does. Yes, it does, Yoda, I agree. Eventually, fucking Anakin goes back to talk to Palpatine. It was so cool about that. I like this scene against Goofy to a degree. Some of the dialogue Palpatine has. But when Anakin walks in, we see from Palpatine's desk, he's looking at the Death Star schematic, which I think is really, really cool. So we're seeing like, oh shit, he's like, he's like, yes, the Death Star, it'll be so cool. It'll be so fucking cool. He's very excited about the Death Star, chat. Anakin comes in, and he's like, hey, Palpatine, listen, my master Obi-Wan Kenobi has engaged General Grievous on Utapau, and so the world looks like it's coming to an end. And fucking Palpatine's like, oh, that's fantastic, Anakin. It's fantastic, but I'm a little melancholy. Man. He's like, what's up? He's like, listen, I know that as soon as the war is over, the Jedi are going to betray me, and they're going to take over. That's what's going to happen. And they don't trust you, Anakin. He's like, no. He's like, Anakin, come on. We know that's what's going to happen. And the fact that they don't trust you, the fact they don't trust me, I mean, that's a betrayal of us both. I mean, at this point, we're in this together, Anakin. You and me, we're in this together. He's like, yeah, let me talk to you. Listen, the Jedi, they've taught you everything, that they know. They've taught you everything that they know, okay? You've hit the ceiling with them, all right? You've hit the ceiling. And at this point, you got to learn other sides of the Force, man. I mean, that dark side, that's some good shit. I mean, I mean, I've studied the Force, and I know the dark side, man. He's like, what are you talking about? How do you know about the dark side? He's like, I can teach you the dark side, Anakin. I can help you with that. And I can give you the power to save your wife from certain death. And he's like, what? How do you know about my wife? And he activates his lightsaber. He's like pointing at Palpatine. He's like, you're the Sith Lord. You're the Sith Lord. He goes, yeah, man. I've always been honest with you, Anakin, and I am the Sith Lord. And he's like, are you angry? Are you filled with hate right now, Anakin? And he's like, I am. I'm going to turn you in. He's like, you going to turn me in? You want to kill me? And he's like, I would very much like to. And Palpatine's just walking around. He has full control of the situation. He's like, oh, and he starts doing the Papa Palpatine voice. I know you do. I feel your anger. I feel your hatred. And he's like, I'm going to come back here with the Jedi, and we're going to arrest you. And Palpatine's like, listen, Anakin, you're free to go. You're free to do whatever you want. It's your choice. I'm giving you the choice that the Jedi would have never given you. And he's like, I'm just going to sit in my chair and look at my Death Star schematics. And Anakin's like, oh, God. Oh, what do I do? His boner face. Oh, we're going to get the boner face Palpatine. Palpatine makes some. There's only been a couple of ridiculous faces already. Coming up right here, some of the most ridiculous faces from Palpatine. Anakin, he goes and informs the council. Oh, no, we're not at that point yet. So after that, after Palpatine reveals he's a Sith Lord to Anakin, we then cut back to Utapau, chat. And Obi-Wan is still chasing after General Grievous in his stupid big wheel speeder bike thing. Eventually, they're crashing. General Grievous is like, trying to hit him with the lightsaber and stuff. They crash near Grievous's starship. At this point, like, fucking Grievous, he hits Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan drops his lightsaber, and then they're just in a fucking fist fight. And Obi-Wan makes the dumb decision to just literally punch the fucking steel carapace of Grievous's, body. And he's like, ah! Because it's literally steel. It's solid fucking steel, so of course it would hurt. And Grievous just fucking grabs him, just shaking the shit out of him. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm going to kill you. After all these years, I'm finally going to get to kill you. But then Obi-Wan's like grabbing on... He's just grabbing onto Grievous at this point, and he managed to rip open his carapace, which, again, huge fucking weakness. Has all of his organs in there, like his heart and lungs and shit and his tum-tum. And he's like, and Grievous was like, get off of me, dude. Don't touch me there. That's like, you don't see this. You don't touch this, okay? This is super, super private. I don't allow anyone else, unless unless you're like really close to me, no one could touch my tum-tum. And Obi-Wan's like, that's a fucking weakness. And Grievous just fucking throws him. And he's like hanging off the side at this point. And Grievous, he grabs one of the electric staffs of the Magna Guards. And he's like walking over to, I'm going to fucking hit you now. And fucking Obi-Wan, he sees Grievous's blaster like a little bit away, like a few feet away, force pulls it towards him, and just starts firing at Grievous's tum-tum. Grievous is like, oh, shit. And he's trying to get to Obi-Wan. He's like, oh, it's not good. This is not good. But Obi-Wan just keeps pew, 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 fires into Grievous, and Grievous has a cool death. I'll give him this. He's like, it creates like a little reaction in his tummy, and it burns his stomach and lungs and heart, and it makes its way up into his brain and his eyes, and goes, and he's literally his eyes and brains just splurt out of his helmet, and he drops down dead shit. It's like, it's a nasty way to go. And Obi-Wan, he walks up, and he'll call back to a new. This is good. And he looks at the blast. He goes, so uncivilized. He goes to the burnt out husk that is Grievous. So Grievous did go out. He had a cool death. I'll give him that. So General Grievous, chat, the military leader of the Separatists has been defeated. One step closer to the end of the war, right? We then cut to Anakin, who goes to talk to Mace Windu and the rest of the Jedi, such as Kit Fisto. Good old Kit Fisto, chat, and Sassy 10, and some other schmuck you don't even know. And he says, listen, Mace Windu, I think your concerns about Palpatine were true. He's the Sith Lord we've been looking for like, ever since the Phantom Menace. He's like, are you fucking serious? He goes, yeah. And Mace Windu's like, oh my God, motherfucker, I should have known. All right, we're gonna go confront him. He's like, okay, I'll come with you. He's like, no. I sense much turmoil and much confusion in you, young Skywalker. young non-master, still a Jedi Knight Skywalker, okay? So you go ahead, you wait at the Jedi Temple, we'll go ahead and arrest Papa Palpatine. And he's like, I think I should be there. He goes, no. If what you say is true, after this, I have my full trust in you, Anakin. Just don't do this. He probably should have had him come with him. He should have had him. Mace fucks up a lot in these next couple of scenes. Anakin's like, okay. And Mace Windu and good old Kit Fisto and Sassy Tin and some other schmuck, some Zabrak schmuck you don't even know. They go over in the Republic gunship. They'll arrest Palpatine. Anakin then sits in the Jedi Temple just going, just crying and confused. Padme just like, I'm so pregnant and I'm so sad, and she's just stuffing her face with Snickers, Star Wars Snickers. Like, oh God, I'm hungry and I'm sad and stuff. The hormones, I get it. Think of the wrong lightsaber, Scott. Exactly, Luke the boss. So they were both fucking crying for various reasons, chat. Thank you, Christian. Everything Mace Windu does in this movie is proof of the idea that Jedi were the real. That makes the Jedi that they were stupid. They were ignorant. That their philosophies were flawed, not evil, just flawed. Very much flawed. I mean, I think we can all agree to that. After this, after Anakin and Padme going crying and shit, we then cut to Windu, who has entered the offices of Papa Palpatine. Papa Palpatine's who's looking at more Death Star schematics, like, oh shit, I'm gonna turn that off, sorry. Moves the tab over. Hey, I heard about General Grievous. This is fantastic. Looks like the war is almost over. And Windu's like, he ain't fucking playing around. This party's over, motherfucker. Pulls out his purple drink lightsaber, chat, along with Kit Fisto and Sassy Tin and some other schmuck, and they're like, Chancellor, we are placing you under arrest. And Palpatine's like, are you threatening me, Master Jedi? And the Senate will decide your fate, sir. And Palpatine's like, I am the Senate. Not yet. And then Palpatine just fucking stands up whoosh, out of his sleep. Badass. But after this, it's like, okay, it's pretty cool. It's pretty good. It's over the top. It's pretty cool. And then it's not cool, like, very soon. But he pulls out this lightsaber. He keeps it in his sleeves. It's treason then. And then he does this spin in the air and this scream. And this is when we just get I love Papa Palpatine in this movie. Probably not for the good, for the very best reasons, because it goes from being like, this is really cool to this is so bad that I just love it so much. But he just spins in the fucking air like 6 times and goes, and he starts taking out like all these Jedi suck. He takes out fucking the Zabrak guy no one knows. He stabs Sassy Tin. Like, he has like a moment where him and Kit Fisto are dueling, but Kit Fisto gets like killed in like 3 strikes and that's it. Poor Phil Lamar. And then it's just Mace Windu versus Sidious, which this is really the first time that Mace Windu is in a lightsaber duel. The problem is, Chad, it's the same problem I have with all the other lightsaber battles in this movie, especially, and the ones I have, especially of Count Dooku, is that Ian McDiarmid is obvious. He's an elderly man. He was an elderly man then. He's an elderly man now. And it's clearly not him fighting. At least in some scenes, it's clearly not him fighting. Like, they clearly put a giant, weird CGI head on another actor, and it's fucking obvious, and it looks really bad. It just looks bad. And then they do occasionally have Ian McDiarmid and Sam Jackson, like, literally doing this. Like, in the air. And Ian McDiarmid is making just the funniest faces, just going, with Mace Windu, and their duel, like, fucking Palpatine's like jumping off of shit and stuff. He's jumping around like Yoda, and then there's this. Eventually, their duel, it goes to like this giant window, which we've seen in all the previous movies, like in Attack of the Clones in this one. And they're dueling, and their lightsabers hit the window, and it shatters. Which is, again, really cool. But then we get all this weird faces. Like, Mace, Sam Jackson's face is like, I'm gonna fight you. I'm very serious. Like, let's go. And Palpatine's just doing all sorts of ridiculous things, everything going, ugh. And there's this one where he does this stabbing motion, and I don't understand why George Lucas said, yeah, that's fine. And I want you to stab Sam there, but I want you to look like you just came. Like you just nutted a huge load into your wife. And that's what he looks like, because he goes, And we just see Ian McDermott's whole face, and it's horrifying. Jerk-off face, very much so. Bilbo Baggins on the 3 feet tall. They could have made that seem a lot more heavy. Exactly. They could have. It's such a missed opportunity. Again, it's another, like, a good idea, a cool idea. Failure at the execution. Drop the ball. Thank you to, who is this person? To CNT Beckett. CNT Beckett, thank you so much for the follow. You might Huckabee, welcome to stream. And so eventually they're fucking going off, chat. They're stabbing, slicing. But then fucking Windu's like, I had enough of this. He just kicks. He just fucking kicks Palpatine in the chest. Palpatine's lightsaber goes. He gets the fucking wind knocked out of him. Lightsaber goes, out the window. And he's like, he's like all the way to the edge of the thing. Eventually, Anakin, he comes in. He didn't see like all the other dead Jedi at this point. And Mace Windu's like, you're under arrest. Anakin's like, what's going on? What are you doing? Now Windu's like, I told you, Anakin. The Jedi are taking over. Just like that. And Windu is like, all right, no, we're going to take you in. All right, we're going to stop you, all right? All right, and Anakin's like, we can't kill him. Windu's like, I'm not gonna kill him. All right, that's not what's gonna happen. And then Palpatine again. It's this horrible. The way he says this line is awful. Where he's like, no, you will die. And he starts lightning him, and fucking Mace is like, oh shit. And then it's reflecting back in Palpatine's face. Now, if I was Palpatine, I was like, okay, limit power. I'm shocking you, but if I literally just stop my lightning, it'll stop frying my fucking face. I don't know why he just stops lightning Windu, but it just means I can't hold it much longer. And then he's like, I can help you. And he's looking at Anakin. He's like, they'll kill me, Anakin. I can help save the one you love. And Windu is like, don't listen to him, Anakin. And Anakin's like, wait, stop doing this. The two of you just stop. He's like, I can't keep doing this. I'm too weak. He's all gross now. And the makeup on Palpatine looks awful. I don't understand this. I brought up in my commentary recently for Return of the Jedi chat, where why does the makeup in Palpatine Return of the Jedi look fantastic? Holds up to this day, looks so good. And here, it looks like he just has a rubber Halloween mask on. It doesn't make any fucking sense. He's faking that shit. He very much is. He's like, I'm fine. But I don't know why he just revealed his gross, gray skin form. All that shit. And at this point, Mace is like, okay, yeah, you are way too dangerous to keep alive. I gotta kill you. And Anakin's like, that's not the Jedi way, Mace Windu. He's like, shut the fuck up, okay? I can do whatever, motherfucker. I can do what I want. All right, don't sass me. And he's like, no, please, no, don't. And then Windu's like, he's about to slash him. Anakin's like, no. And he ignites the light, and he cuts fucking Sam Jackson's arm off. He's like, motherfucker. So apparently, Sam Jackson begged George Lucas to allow him to say fuck or motherfucker once in the movie, and he said, please let me say the line here when Anakin cuts my arm off. And he's like, no, this is a movie for kids. We're gonna show a man's penis burn off at the end of the movie. This is a movie for kids. So no, motherfucker, not okay. Having a man have his penis burned off is okay according to George Lucas. And so fucking Sam Jackson is just, I mean, you would scream too if you just had your arm cut off. I mean, he's just screaming. I'll give Anakin this, and then when he got his arm cut off in Attack of the Clones, he didn't cry and scream like a little bitch. Fucking Sam Jackson's losing his mind. And then we get the ultimate line, Chad. The Palpatine's like, yeah, he's like, unlimited. And then he just fucking blasts Windu out the window. He blasts Windu out the window. It's great. Now, people are like, oh, he fucking survived that fall. He didn't survive shit. He fell on some concrete. He exploded. He was charred dark meat when he hit that floor, Chad. When he hit that concrete. I'm below Coruscant. Thank you, people, for the 25 biddies, excuse me. And thank you to James for resubscribing. Appreciate 8 months total, 1 month away from pooping out that Twitch, baby. Thank you so much. Thank you, James. Appreciate you. And at this point, Anakin, he's just on his knees. He's like, what have I done? And, you know, Palpatine's voice changes here. Now he's talking like this. But then there's like a reverb with his voice. And I don't know if that's because he's like, oh, it's, you know, it sounds so dominating to Anakin now. Like it's everywhere. So maybe that's the point. There's like a really weird, like, echoing reverb of Palpatine's voice. And he's like, you are fulfilling your destiny, Anakin. And he's like, oh, God. And he's like, at this point, the Jedi have betrayed us. They will soon learn of this plot, Anakin, and we must move quickly. He goes, okay, well, I pledge myself to you. He goes, yes, pledge yourself to me, Skywalker. No, you shall be reborn under a new name. You henceforth, you shall be known as Darth Vader. He just comes up with that at the top of his head. He didn't like, I have this name planned. He was like, oh shit, what's a good name for you? Like he had Maul, Darth Tron's got it. He like pauses and like, oh, Vader. Vader like goes the next, he's like, yeah, Vader, sure. That one. It fucking kills me every time. Oh yeah, I'll name you Vader. And it was like, right. And it's like, and then, and this is really cool. It's like, and then you'll teach me the way to save Padme. And Palpatine goes, oh yeah, that. Yeah, there has only been one who has ever mastered that power, but I'm sure if we work together, we can find out for ourselves. Huh? He lied. He fucking lied. He had a moment on the spin the beach ball and the beach ball of fate. What's your name? Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna start the spinner. I don't know what to name him. But I love it. He fucking lied. Anakin, if I was Anakin, I'm like, wait a minute, motherfucker. You told me you knew this. You knew this. You're from Darth Plagueis. He's like, I don't know. Apparently Palpatine never figured that out from Darth Plagueis. Darth Plagueis knew how to create life with the midichlorians. He knew how to save the ones he loved from dying, except himself. Obviously, ironically, he couldn't even save himself. But Palpatine never figured that out. He's like, shit. But Anakin's just like, oh, don't worry. I'm sure we'll get it. We'll learn together. Yeah, sure. I think it's fucking hilarious, Darth Emo. And at this point, is like the Jedi will soon find out about this. It's like we must move swiftly. And, you know, Vader, Lord Vader. And he puts like the hood on and shit. And it's like, you must go to the Jedi temple. Hunt them down, destroy them, make sure none warns anyone and anyone else and shit. And he's like, well, what about all the other Jedi across the galaxy? He says it with that much emotion. What about all the other the Jedi across, the galaxy and stuff? And he's like, don't worry, I'll take care of that. I've planned this for decades. It'll be perfect. And it's like, okay. And so at this point, we then cut. Just Anakin just being fucking dumb, just being dumb. He then goes to so then he goes to the cool idea of a scene, but he then goes to the Jedi Temple where he leads all these troops and shit, all these CGI Tamara Morrisons, and they start slaughtering everybody at the temple, chat. Eventually, he also says, now go to the Mustafar system and kill Newt Gunray and the Separatists and fuck them. I don't like them anyway. And it's like, okay, cool. Thank you for my base Crusaders. That's the thing. Throughout the first half of the movie, I don't think Crusader is great, but he's passive. Yes, once he turns the dark side, it goes downhill fast. It's really, really bad. It's really, really bad. Well, he starts fucking, slaughtering all the goddamn, the Jedi and everything. Not going great. Not going great. Eventually after this chat, we then cut to get the temple battle. Oh yeah, we get that fucking famous scene. That's the thing. Because Padme, she's watching the battle at the temple, or she's seeing like all the destruction going on. It's on fire and shit. And she's C-3PO is like, oh, and C-3PO is, I'm in the movie for some reason. And it's like, don't worry, Mistress Padme. I'm sure Master Skywalker is fine. And then we cut to the temple. And all the Jedi being killed, and we cut to the council chambers where all the little younglings are, the little Padawans are. Anakin opens the goddamn door, and this little British kid walks out, and he goes, Master Skywalker, they're everywhere. What are we going to do? Anakin's like, I know what I'm going to do. And he just ignites his lightsaber. This kid's like, oh no. And he fucking slaughters all of those little British younglings, Chad. Every single one of those little shits he takes out. Oh no. Dead. Fucking hilarious. I love it. Eventually, we cut back to Utapau and fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi. He goes to command. Oh, yeah, that's the thing. During the battle, Obi-Wan's lightsaber falls, and Commander Cody picks it up. He picks that shit up, and he gives it back to Obi-Wan, and he's like, oh, good job, Commander Cody. You know, you're one of the good ones. You're one of the good brown clone troopers. And he goes, thanks, General Kenobi. Appreciate that. He goes, okay, I'll see you on the other side. And he starts, like, scaling a fucking side of the cliff of the sinkhole and shit. And then Papa Palpatine, he calls in. He space Skypes Commander Cody. He's like, Commander Cody. And he goes, yes, my lord. He's like, the time has come. Execute Order 66. He just goes, sounds good. And Commander Cody didn't give a shit about Ben. He didn't like all the racism. That's the only explanation. He didn't like all the fucking racism that Ben Kenobi was spewing his way and all of his other brothers, all his fellow Tamara Morrison's chat. And fucking Commander Cody's like, you see that racist piece of shit up there? Fire. And they fire at him, Chev, the big old ATTE cannon. Boom. They blow up the fucking lizard bird monster thing. And they all fall to the sinkholes in the water, chat. We then cut, and we're seeing all of the deaths of the Jedi chat. You know, we see the death of Ki-Adi-Mundi. He dies on Megiddo. We see Ayla Secura, who's super hot. I'm like, bull fucking shit. The Jedi's supposed to be so conservative, and she has her bazungas is hanging out constantly, chat. She got her ass in those tight leather pants, showing off the belly button. It's like, what are you doing, Ayla Secura? Jesus Christ, all these fucking horny Jedi, and they see you strutting down the goddamn council chambers, down the hallways, and they're like, oh my God. And I was like, what are you doing? So she's doing her thing. She gets shot to shit on Felucia, chat, on the fungi world and the mushroom planet. Plo Koon, he gets blasted out of his starfighter, chat. We see, I forget what her name is, Ayla Galupa or whatever. She gets blasted on her speeder bike. She explodes. All these Jedi are dying. Fucking Yoda's like, oh, Yoda also senses when Mace dies. He's like, we cut. Earlier in the film, I forgot to mention this. When Mace Windu dies, Yoda's like, I loved him. Loved him, I did. Because I guess, Yoda trained Mace Windu. He had a very personal connection to Mace. And so he sensed when he died. And then he's like, hey, he's having a fucking heart attack. He's like, at this point, he's very sad. Drops his cane and shit. Eventually, the commanders there in Kashyyyk, they get the orders from Papa Palpatine to execute Order 66. And they're like, right away, my lord. And they this one guy looks at his other fellow clone trooper. He's like, let's fucking kill Master Yoda. They're like, hell yeah, man. Yoda senses some bullshit going on, and he ignites his laser, flips in the air, cuts their heads off. And Chewbacca's like, what the fuck, dude? What's going on? Yoda's like, betrayed we have been. Take me, Chewbacca. Let me ride on your back. And Chewie's like, okay. And fucking Chewbacca takes Yoda, and he runs away with his other Wookiee leaders. I guess it's Chewbacca's dad, Lumpy. He runs away with Lumpy and Chewbacca, Chad. It's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on here, but Jesus Christ, it's crazy. Eventually, we cut back to Coruscant, chat, where Bail Organa, good old Bear, is like, Jimmy Smits, everybody, like, I should have been a bigger character in this movie to make you give a shit about Alderaan. But again, another lost opportunity. He arrives at the Jedi Temple, and he's like, hey, I saw the Jedi Temple's on fire. What's going on? All these Troopers like, we're dealing with the situation. There's been an insurrection. Get back in your speeder. He's like, are you sure? I mean, I can help. I can bring people over here for the rescue. Are the Jedi okay? He's like, and they're like, sir, get back in your goddamn speeder. He's like, okay. So he gets back there, chat, and then this little Jedi Padawan flips over these clone troopers and starts just fucking slicing and dicing them. They're all like, it's a Jedi, shoot him. And Bail Organa's like, wait, don't kill the kid. And they kill the kid. So apparently this kid is George Lucas's adopted son that he put in the scene. So I love it, chat. If you happen to be a child of George Lucas, he will put you in his movie and then kill you. So you got that going for you. And so they shoot the shit out of this kid. And Bail Organa's like, no! And he gets in the speeder and he flies away. He's like, I don't like all this. I don't like all this killing. that's going on. All right, I'm a little bothered by this. And he gets in the Tantive 4, which we see in a Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope, and chat in Star Wars. The Rogue One. We see that in Rogue One. We also see it in Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. It appears many times, Chad, many times. But he gets in that and he fucking takes off. He's like, okay, we got to fucking contact the Jedi because this is some serious bad shit that's going down. I don't know what the hell's going on, but no one should be killing Jedi on my book. We then cut to Obi-Wan, who's on Utapau trying to get off the planet. So, and he's like doing a stealth shit, and he's hiding behind like dead Wookiee bodies. He's literally putting dead Wookiee carcasses over his own body, and it just stinks shit. I mean, the Wookiee carcasses just bloated, and they all take it on water and shit, and they're all farting and stuff. And he's like, oh God, the smell. But he has to hide himself, and eventually he gets in a ship. He gets in a ship and he blasts off. We also cut to Yoda, who is on Kashyyyk, and he's in like this little egg. He has like a little egg starship, which he hid nearby, apparently. I don't know, unless it's owned by the Wookiees. Is this a Wookiee ship or is this his ship? Like, I don't know. It's weird, but he has this little egg ship, and he's like, trouble there is on Coruscant. Jedi are in danger, they are. And he says, Lumpy, I will miss you, but you, I will miss most of all. Chewbacca. And Chewbacca goes, argh! And it's like, okay. Why didn't fucking Chewie, like Luke Skywalker in Empire Strikes Back, like, hey, I've been told to, go to the Dagobah system and train with this apparently wise Jedi master, all-powerful Jedi master named Master Yoda. And Chewie went, oh, I know that guy. Like, no. Nope. Chewie's like, that can't be the same Yoda. I mean, come on. There has to be more than one Yoda in the galaxy. It's so stupid. Anyway, and Chewbacca's like, oh, and Chewbacca's like, bye, everybody. I'm gone. My cameo's done. Thank you, Ryder Moses, for the follow. You my new Huckleberry. Welcome to stream. Currently reviewing Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith. Now, one of the ideas, you can see this in concept art, Chad. It wasn't filmed or anything. But in concept art, George Lucas had planned to include Han Solo in this scene as well, where Han Solo would have been shown, like, he's being taken care of by the Wookiees, and he would have been helping them in the battle, like a little 10-year-old Han Solo or something. But they didn't include it. They obviously didn't film it or anything. They didn't cast it or anything. But that was an idea. And so I guess like fucking Han is like Chewie's pet or something. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, Han Solo's a kid. Star Wars retcons, man, you gotta love them. They're so fun for the reviews. That's what I love the retcons for. At least they're fun for the reviews. But Yoda, he goes in his little egg thingy. Eventually, we cut back to Obi-Wan. Who gets a emergency transmission from Bail Organa, who's sending this out to anybody. And he's like, hey, Obi-Wan, good to see you. Listen, we just picked up Yoda in his weird egg ship. We want to bring you on board and talk. And they're like, okay, cool. Well, let's get you on here. Let's get you on here. And so they board that. They board the Tantive 4 and they start talking the Sprech chat. But before we get to that stuff, we then cut to Anakin and Padme. Anakin just got done killing a whole bunch of kids. He used the Youngling Slayer 9000, killed a whole bunch of them, chat. And he's like, hey, Padme, what's up? She's like, well, Anakin, what's going on at the Jedi Temple? And he goes, oh, here's the thing. Listen, the Jedi have betrayed Palpatine. They betrayed the Republic, and they tried to kill him. And she goes, oh, my God, that's awful. He goes, yeah, it's really bad. And at this point, Palpatine is sending me to Mustafar to capture the Separatist leaders, and we're going to bring an end to the war. But then we'll have to deal with the Jedi. She's like, but what about Obi-Wan? He's like, well, I'm sure Obi-Wan is loyal to the Republic, so he should be okay. And she's like, okay, well, just let me know if you need anything or something. He's like, yeah, no problem. By the way, I'll be at Mustafar. Mustafar, it's Mustafar, in case you don't know. Anyway, bye. And then R2 goes with Anakin. He flies off in his little ship. And she's like, oh, geez, I don't know about this. Eventually, we cut to Mustafar, where the Separatists, Newt Gunray and Wat Tambor and all them, they're talking to good old Darth Sidious. And they're like, and what, fucking Newt Gunray is like, Darth Sidious, we have heard about the death of General Grievous. What do we do? And fucking Sidious is like, oh, don't worry. General Grievous's death was necessary, to bring the end of the war. Listen, I'm going to be sending you my newest apprentice, Darth Vader. He'll take care of you. Which I'm like, I don't like the way you... And Newt Gunray and Wat Tambor were like, oh, that sounds good. He's going to take care of us. That doesn't have any negative connotations. It's like if I heard them like, oh, we got to get the fuck out of here. He's going to kill all of us. Like, we got to go now. But these guys are so fucking stupid. They don't realize. It's like, it'll take care of you. I'm like, I don't like that. But okay. So we then cut from that. Bail Organa, he's talking to Obi-Wan and Yoda. They're flying back to Coruscant because they want to go. They want to infiltrate the Jedi Temple because the signal. Because the clones have set up a signal to the Jedi in the Jedi Temple that is recalling all Jedi to go back there immediately, and it's a trap. So then the clones can slaughter all the Jedi. It's all part of Papa Palpatine's evil plan. But at the same time, good old Papa Palpatine's weird hentai blue guy, his assistant or something. I don't know what he is, but he's the hentai blue guy, chat. He calls Bail Organa. He says, Senator Organa, listen, there's going to be a special session of Congress. Papa Palpatine is asking for you specifically to join in that because he got some big plans. He wants you to be a part of them. And he's like, I will be there immediately. And so at this point, because this joint session of Congress, all attention is going to be on the Senate building, and there'll be a lack of attention on the Jedi Temple. And so then, Yoda and good old Obi-Wan Kenobi will then infiltrate during this this joint session. And they're like, okay, cool. Eventually, we go to the special session of Congress where Padme is also and they're like, well, what the fuck's going on? Palpatine, he stands up and he's like, I have something to tell all of you. And while this is all going down, it's like, okay, it's all happening like at once. It's cutting between all these things. Eventually, we cut back to Mustafar, where Darth Vader has landed on this platform, going to the Separatist leader's location. R2, he injects himself out. He's like, all right, Anakin, let's go and talk to these Separatist leaders. Let's capture these bad guys. Anakin's like, R2, keep your fucking metallic ass right here. And R2's like, okay. And he's like, yeah, Andrews just hangs out there. And he goes there. He goes in there. And the Separatists is like, oh, Lord Vader, Palpatine said you would come and take care of us. It's so good to see you. And he like looks at all of them and he's like, yep. He starts force closing all the doors, and I'm like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm like, that's not good. And he slaughters all of them, Chad. He's cutting, he's slicing and fucking dicing all of them. And Wat Tambor's like, oh, he's hiding behind like a big table and shit. Anakin's got the evil yellow, orangey red eyes. He's like, oh my God. And New Gun is like, please, the war is over. We just want peace. And then Anakin just slices open his gut, and he's like, all his fucking guts fall, and he dies. Very bad, very bad. After that, we then cut to Obi-Wan and Yoda in the Jedi Temple. They're killing all of the clone troopers who are there. Fucking Yoda's just jumping around, jumping on top of them and like stabbing them in the head with his lightsaber and like cutting them open and stuff. And they kill all the clone troopers there. They then go to the archives. They stop the signal, the beacon. And then they send out a new one that says to stay the fuck off Coruscant, stay the fuck away from the temple. Jedi are being killed here. And then Yoda, he's checking the cam footage, and he's like, "Hey, Obi-Wan, I want to show you the cam footage. I will, Obi-Wan." And he's like, "Here." And we see Anakin slaughtering Jedi and slaughtering younglings. And Obi-Wan's like, "Not the younglings." And everyone's like, "Even the younglings, he was killing them." And Yoda's like, young Skywalker, upon the Sith, he now is a Dark Lord. And Obi-Wan's like, no, there's no way. There's no fucking way, okay? Fuck Palpatine. I'm going to confront him. I'm going to kill Palpatine. We'll bring the end to this. And Yoda's like, not powerful you are to kill Palpatine. Kill him, I will. You go and confront Anakin. And he's like, all right, sure. And so, but before I do that, I got to go talk to Padme. But, Chad, while this is all going on, we then cut to the joint session of Congress, and Palpatine, he's fucking just adoring the adulation of the crowd. He's like, the attempt on my life has left me scarred and deformed, but my resolve has never been stronger. And everyone's like, yeah, good for you, ugly guy. Yeah, good for you. And he's like, since I've been like turned gross and shit, I will reform the Republic into the first galactic empire. Everyone's like, yeah, empire, woo. It's like, okay, that's what we're doing. And Padme's like, this is how fucking democracy dies, with thunderous applause. It's true. That's what happened. That's what happened, chat. Things are not going great. Things are not very going great right here. Eventually, Padme, she's hanging out. Obi-Wan goes to see her, and he's like, hey, Padme, what's up? She goes, oh, shit, Obi-Wan, how you doing? And he's like, I got some shit to tell you, okay? I want you to sit down. I see you're cooking a couple buns in there, all right? But I want you to sit down for this. He goes, what's up? He goes, yeah, I saw Anakin, okay? I saw Anakin killing younglings on some cam footage. And she's like, no way. He wouldn't kill younglings. He's like, he was slicing and dicing them all right? I think Anakin's fallen to the dark side. She's like, no way. Not my little Annie. He goes, I'm pretty sure he did. When you start killing little kids, that's dark side 101. And she's like, no. And he's like, do you know where he is? She's like, no. No. And he's like, okay, well, you just let me know, because I want to help him. It's not like I'm going to go there and kill him and, like, burn his dick off or anything. She goes, I know that. And he goes, by the way, the bun in the oven, it's his, ain't it? Baby's his, isn't it? And she goes, yeah, it is. And he goes, I'm so fucking sorry. Like, I got to kill him. And he goes off in his little starship, and he flies away. She's like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, it's all falling apart and shit. Is he killing young as another term for jerking off? Probably. That's what Anakin was doing, just slice, doing the whole time, man. Great line. Low gas. Oh, it's so good. At this point, Padme's like, okay, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I gotta confront. I have to confront Anakin, so I'm gonna take my Nubian, I'm gonna take my big stupid chrome spaceship, and I'm gonna fly to Mustafar to confront him. But little does she know, chat, Obi-Wan's like, I see what this prego's doing. I see what this lion prego's doing, and he sneaks aboard the ship and hides in like a little like room or some shit. Like, okay, I know where she's taking. She's taking me to where Anakin is. After that, we then good old Papa Palpatine. He contacts Anakin and Mustafar, and it's like, you've done well, my apprentice. Send out the signal to shut down all armies of the separatists. The goddamn, the war is over. Also, I forgot to mention a really cool line. When Darth Vader, when Anakin is dubbed Darth Vader, where Palpatine says, he's like, once more the Sith shall rule the galaxy, and then we will have peace. Every word's like, he adds 15 more syllables to every single word. Peace. I love it. And he's like, cool. And so, but then fucking Anakin, he gets a little beep bop boop on the scanners. Apparently there is a Nubian ship just laying on the platform. He walks out, and Padme's like, oh, she waddles down the ramp, and they're hugging and shit. And he's like, what are you doing here? He's just like, I've heard these horrible things. I've been told these horrible things. He's like, what's going on? He's like, Obi-Wan, he told me that you were like killing younglings and stuff in the Jedi and shit. He's like, don't talk about Obi-Wan. All right, don't mention him to me. Don't say that name to me anymore. And okay, all right, just shut up. He's like, Anakin, you never told me to shut before. Why are you saying these things? He's like, listen, okay, we can do whatever we want. All right, we can do whatever we want. He's like, don't you know that, like, fucking Papa Palpatine's made that, like, he turned Republican in the Empire? He's Emperor Palpatine now. And he's like, listen, I'm more powerful than Papa Palpatine. I can overthrow him. I can kill that old fuck. And he's like, I'm going to kill this guy. I can kill him, and then we can rule the galaxy together. It'll be both of us. We can do whatever we want. And she's like, Anakin, I don't even know you right now. Jesus fucking Christ. And he's like, just listen to me, all right? Just listen. He's like, Obi-Wan was right. Obi-Wan is absolutely right. You've turned to darkness. He's like, what the fuck, bitch? What did I tell you? Don't bring up his goddamn name. I'm gonna do it. And it's like, oh my God. And then he looks over. He then looks over and he sees fucking Obi-Wan just like standing up there like, this is not a healthy relationship. This is not good. And he goes, just screaming at her. She's like, I didn't know he was there. And he's like, does fucking Anakin, does Vader have to choke a bitch? And he's like, what? Vader's got to choke a bitch. And he starts fucking choking the shit out of her. He's like, he's like, no. And Obi-Wan's like, all right, that's enough. That bitch don't just stop choking her. He's like, you've turned her against me. He's like, you've done that yourself, dude. And then she's like, and then she just fucking passes out. She's like, oh, it's not great. I was joking when I said fast was cool. You didn't listen. Exactly. All those years ago, man. Lil Wayne Brady. Goddamn right. And, you know, Obi-Wan's like, Anakin, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, whatever, Master. You know, I've learned things about the Jedi. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm going to make the galaxy better. Me and my new empire. He's like, your new empire, Anakin. I serve the Republic, democracy. And Anakin's like, if you're against me, then you're my enemy. And Obi-Wan's like, oh, fucking dude. All right, I'll do what I must. And Anakin's like, you will try. And then he does a fucking flippy jump. And then a lot of people say this is a badass scene. The lightsaber duel between Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't like it. I'm sorry, I just don't like it. I mean, it's better than what we've seen so far in the movie. But they're fucking moving these things like they're batons. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell's happening. But they're going back and forth. And we have the, it's a mix of two different songs. And I will say this. I forgot to compliment the score early in the movie. But I absolutely love John Williams' score in the prequels. He plays Battle of Heroes here and Duel of the Fates, a combination. It goes back and forth. And it's great. It's really good. I like the music in this movie. Across all the prequels, the music is very good. It goes on way too long. All these action scenes. Because if you thought, hey, one really long lightsaber battle was bad, whew, let's add another one there. Because after that, after we cut from that show, we cut from that. And Yoda has gone to confront good old Papa Palpatine, who is now Emperor Palpatine. This is actually kind of funny. This is pretty, I mean, this is funny to me because we see the Imperial Royal Guards for the first time, the red guys, the Crayolas. And like Yoda like hobbles in, and these guys are like about to stab Yoda. Yoda just goes, and they go, they just hit the wall and they die. He kills them. And at this point, Papa Palpatine's like, Master Yoda, you survived. He's like, surprised, are you? He's like, it's over, Master Yoda. I rule the galaxy, and you will die. And he fucking, like, lightning bolts Master Yoda, and he lightning goes, Rah! He hits the fucking, like, side of the wall and shit. And then all Palpatine's assistants, they vamoose. They get the fuck out of there. And the Palpatine's like, this is where we get Palpatine cackling his ass off for no reason all the time. Even when he's getting his ass kicked, but he's like walking over to Yoda. He's like, I've waited a long time for this, my little green friend. And Yoda just fucking gets up and he is like, fuck, I'm fucking 100% done. He puts back his cloak, he gets his lightsaber out, and he is like, boom, and he just force pushes the fuck out of Palpatine. Palpatine, his fucking face is like, this is so weird where he, like, Palpatine, he falls back into his chair, but it's like he's upside down, and you just see this fucking old man just like, just trying to pick himself up. He fucking picks himself up, and he's like, oh, fuck. He's like, I got to get out of here. And he runs. He, like, jumps towards the exit. Yoda's like, motherfucker. If so powerful you are, why leave? You are foolish, Master Yoda. Soon Lord Vader will become more powerful than us both. Misplaced. Your faith in your apprentice may be, as is your faith in the dark side of the Force. And then we just get these two spinning and Palpatine going, and we get the Duel of the Fates coming here and shit. And we cut between Papa Palpatine versus Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Anakin, chat. And it goes on for like 20 fucking minutes. But we're just going to concentrate on Papa Palpatine Yoda for now. And then eventually we'll go back to Obi-Wan and fucking, Anakin. But I like the idea. Like, there's some cool ideas of this duel. Like, there are. But again, like, I like the idea of Palpatine using a lightsaber. But, like, I think it would have been cooler if they'd, like, listen. Yoda, we are beyond lightsabers. We are so fucking powerful. Let's just have like a really epic fucking force battle. That would have been cooler to me, but they got to use fucking lightsabers and shit. And so eventually they go on little Papa Palpatine's floaty Senate seat, and it rises up into the sky, and they're like we're in the Senate. And Palpatine and Yoda are just fucking dueling in the Senate and shit. And all that shit. Eventually, the duel progresses, and we cut Anakin, Obi-Wan, whatever. But then we cut back to Yoda and Palpatine, and they're done lightsaber battling. And Palpatine, I really like this. This one, I'm like, this is pretty cool. The music is what's great. It is. The music helps sell all this shit. But I also like the idea of Palpatine just throwing those fucking floating Senate chairs. Like, just throw me at Yoda. Yoda's just like dodging him. Like, it's really, really cool. And Palpatine's like, and he throws like this one at him like really fast. Yoda just he stops it, and Yoda just starts fucking spinning this thing. He's like, woo, woo. But Palpatine's like, Yoda just goes, boom, he throws it right back at Palps. And Palps is like, and he jumps to the next one. He's like, where is he? And Yoda jumps up his lightsaber. Palpatine's like, and then we get into like a duel of Yoda deflecting the lightning, and Palpatine just Yoda's like, fuck you, motherfucker. Fucker, mother. As Windu would have once said, as Yoda interprets it. And Palpatine's like, and they get blasted back. It like shoots and ricochets them. And Palpatine, he goes off the side, and he's like fucking holding on for dear goddamn life. And Yoda, he falls, bing, bang, bing, boom. He hits like, it's like, ooh. He hits like several, Senate seats, loses little Jedi cloak, loses fucking lightsaber chat. And he's like, fuck. Ow. And he just runs away. He's like, failed I have. He's literally, that's funny, Millennial. Palpatine is literally destroying democracy. Oh, King DJ, welcome to stream. Good, so what's up, Chris? How's your night going? Going well, man. Currently in the middle of my review for Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. We're at the big duels right now. Thank you, good sir, subscribing, using your Prime on my channel. Very kind. 18 months of support. Appreciate that, good sir. Cheers. But after that, Palpatine's like, just laughing when he's almost falling off. It's weird. Eventually, we cut back to the lava duel chat, and it just goes on. It just escalates, where they're fighting on this giant metal arm, which is malfunctioned and shit. They're doing all that. They use like actual footage of volcanoes erupting behind them. But, then eventually the metal arm is malfunctioned because they fucked something up in this one area. And it goes into this lava, and lava starts coming on the arm, like just coming all over the place. And it detaches, and the thing like reverses, and so then they're fighting like fucking vertically and shit. Like, just fucking hate you, just doing that. And it's just going down this giant lake of lava, which, by the way, they're not feeling any of the heat for this. They're like, yeah, a little sweaty. We're a little sweaty. But there would be such a lack of fucking oxygen in the air. You would be so hot. You would pass out, but it doesn't matter. It's Star Wars. And so they're falling down this. Then we see shit. The river's turning into a waterfall. And so we got to get going. So fucking Obi-Wan, he grabs like a cable, which, was momentarily covered in molten lava. He swings himself over to this little platform, which again is like about this close to lava. And he's like, I'm fine. And Anakin, I hate this because it shows us how ridiculous the Jedi power set is in the prequels. Like, it's like, what the fuck is happening? But Anakin is running up this he runs up this thing as it's tipping over the waterfall, and he does this fucking massive flippy jump in the air and lands on this even smaller little droid. This droid's like collecting lava for some reason, and it lands on the droid's head, and the droid's like, what the fuck is on me? And then they like move closer to each other, Anakin and Obi-Wan, and then they start fucking dueling and shit. And Obi-Wan's like, listen, man, okay, Palpatine's evil. And Anakin's like, well, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil. It's just such an awful line. And he's like, well, you were lost. And they keep fighting, / whatever, CGI, green screen. And then they take a break, and they're like, and Obi-Wan's like, I failed you, Anakin. I failed you. And And he's like, I knew the Jedi were trying to betray the Republic. And he's like, fucking Anakin, no. That's not what we're doing. That's the line. No, Palpatine's the one who's evil. He's like, Jedi are evil. It's like, oh, whatever. And they keep fighting and stuff until eventually Obi-Wan's like, all right. And Anakin jumps onto Obi-Wan's platform. And they're just going back and forth and stuff. And Obi-Wan's like, okay, I've had enough of this. And he jumps. He does like a big fucking leap. And he gets onto the high ground. He gets on the side of this of the lava river. And he's just hanging out there. And he's like, it's over, Anakin. I have the high ground. Anakin's like, nah, I got this. You underestimate my power. And Obi-Wan's like, don't try it, motherfucker. Don't try it. Anakin's like, no. He doesn't flippy jump. Obi-Wan warned him. He fucking warned him. And he just fucking cuts off his fucking legs and his left arm. Anakin just flops on the ground and like goes downhill. He's like, oh shit, I fucked up. He's like, oh fuck. It looks really painful. Really painful. And Obi-Wan is just looking at him and he's like, oh, Anakin, you were my brother, Anakin. I loved you. And shit. And Anakin's like, I hate you. He's just like falling more down the cliff and shit. Here's the thing with my beast. You got no legs, Master Skywalker. It's true. Magic. He'll get some magic legs in a bit. But like Anakin keeps like Obi-Wan goes, he picks up Anakin's lightsaber, which he'll then give to Luke in A New Hope. But he's walking. He should have fucking stabbed him, but I don't know why he didn't do it. He just wanted to burn motherfucker, because he walks up the cliff a little bit more, and Anakin like falls down a little bit more, and he catches on fire, chat, and it looks bad. I mean, he burns alive. He's literally burning alive, chat, until it's like all of his flesh, peen burns off. I mean, you'd be pissed too. You would turn the dark side if your penis got burned off, chat. He's like, and Obi-Wan's like, ooh, this is hard to watch. He's like, put him out of his misery. Just fucking kill him. But he just walks away as Anakin's like doing all that. It's like, ew. He walks away. Eventually, I think we cut back to Bail Organa, who rescues Yoda. He's like, failed I have to kill the Emperor. It was like, yeah, no shit, because you're both alive in the trilogy. Of course you fucking failed to kill each other. We know that. There was no stakes. There was no motherfucking stakes. Of course, well, that shit up Obi-Wan picking up the lightsaber wasn't filmed until a month before the movie came out. Oh, because Lucas forgot he was supposed to give it to Luke until an intern pointed out to him. Good catch. Yeah, it was smart. Smart. And so fucking Bail takes Yoda off planet on the Tantive 4 and shit, and they fly away. Eventually, also, we cut to, I forgot to say this, earlier when Obi-Wan and Anakin were dueling, Palpatine is like, find Master Yoda. You know, we've only found his fucking cloak, then he is not dead. He's like, find him, double your search, Commander Fox, whatever your name is. And then the blue guy's like, what's up, Palps? And he's like, I think Lord Vader is in danger. And then eventually, we then cut to Obi-Wan. He gets back to the platform, and you see like 3PO fucking move Padme's pregnant body. He just rolled her in, and he's like, oh, Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, I have put Mistress Padme into the ship, and she should be fine. He's like, great. R2, come with us too. R2, he's like, fuck Anakin, fuck that kid. I hate him. And he rolls in there too. I hate him, and I hate his spawns. And he rolls in the ship, and they fly away. And eventually, Papa Palpatine, he comes in his own ship. Because we see Vader. He's not dead. He's crawling out of the fucking, trying to crawl out of the lava. Trying to like push himself over the bank, just drag himself with one arm and shit. Palpatine lands in his like shuttle, and he's with some clone troopers, and he's like, there he is, there, and he's still alive. He's like, bring the medical tube immediately, and they're like, yes, sir. And we get like a really cool scene here. I actually like this scene. I really do dig this, where Anakin's just on the ground like, fuck me, fuck my life, which you would be if you were set on fire, you had all your limbs cut off and your penis burned off. But Palpatine, like, I think it's like the one scene where we see Palpatine have humanity, and I really like that, where he approaches Anakin and he actually falls to his knees, and he touches his head, like he strokes his head, like a like a father helping his wounded son or something like that. He just touches his head. I really like that moment. Apparently, Ian McDiarmid, he improvised that, and I was like, yeah, it fucking works. I really like that. Like, there's the Palpatine Vader relationship, just it needed so much more in these movies. Like, again, there's gems of really nice Frankenstein homage. Like, there's such good gems of ideas in this film, and if they're just expanded upon or executed better, it's like, you really have something here. It's really cool. But I like that small moment that he strokes his head. And eventually we can then cut to this fucking asteroid belt where Yoda and Bail Organa are, and they've brought in Obi-Wan Kenobi and Padme. And Padme, she got to front poop out some kids. She's got to front poop out. She's like, oh, they be coming. Apparently there's some complications. Oh, no. I mean, was it because Anakin choked her when she fell, when the babies hurt? I mean, what happened? I mean, there must be something. Was it because she's on a fucking volcanic planet and she inhaled all that volcanic ash and it's burning her lungs? Well, we'll find out in a bit, chat. But this is, but what's happening at the exact same time as we cut to Coruscant. It's raining. They brought Vader out of the shuttle. He's all like, he's all looking shitty and stuff. He's all burnt alive. Palpatine's like walking like this, and they start basically putting him together. They're putting him in the Darth Vader suit, and this is contrasted with Padme giving birth to some babies, and she's like, and they did not know they were twins. Like she pops one of these suckers out. I think like Luke comes first. He pops out. Luke comes first. And she's like, fucking Luke. I want to name him Luke. And they're like, cool. And she's like, oh, there's another one coming. And they're like, another one? She has twins? Like, you guys didn't know that? You sense life all the time. You couldn't read inside that tum-tum of hers? All right, whatever. And then she pops out, little Leia. I'm going to name her Leia. And Obi-Wan is holding Luke and Leia in his arms and shit. And he's like, oh, they're okay, Padme, they're okay. And then the medical droid goes to talk to Bail. It looks like the birth was successful. The medical droid's like, nah, son, it's not good. We said, what are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, Padme, she's dying. And they're like, wait, what? Why is she dying? What's going on? And the droid says, yeah, nah, she's just lost the will to live, which is definitely one of the worst lines in the Star Wars saga, I want to say. Like, there are some really bad lines in Revenge of the Sith, and that takes the fucking cake. It's like, she's like, no, she's not going to live. I love how she's not even going to raise her hand. Huh? Also, hi, Nabroni, hard hands. It's like, she's not going to live for her children that she just front pooped out of her vagina. You're telling me she's like, nah, I don't love you as much as Annie. It's like, that is bullshit. She's a selfish fucking mother. And that's why I always go back to it, Chad. Padme is racist, she's classist, and I'm glad she's dead. And she's like with Obi-Wan, and she's like, I gotta go. But he's like, what about your kids? Fuck them. She just dies. Or she says, Obi, I said good. I mean, referencing Anakin. Meanwhile, Anakin's getting, a fucking Robo-Peen attached to himself. Thank you for the 5 minutes. Appreciate you. Sir, maybe the worst excuse to kill a character. Yeah, it's the worst excuse ever, sir, maybe. Agreed. But then we cut to Anakin, who's being put in the fucking suit. And it's cool. I like that the mask is coming down. He's like, what the fuck is that? And it comes down him, chat, and boop. Cool, I love that. And they fucking sit him up. They got him like, oh, here I am. I'm sitting up right here. He's like very much like Frankenstein. Very much like Frankenstein, just like, here I am. And, Palpatine's right next to him. He's like, Lord Vader, can you hear me? And, then he turns his head to Palpatine. He's like, yes, my master. And he sounds like James Earl Jones. James Earl Jones voices Darth Vader here. And he's like, Padme, is she all right? Where is she? And Palpatine's like, yeah, apparently in your anger, you killed her. And Vader's like, no, she was alive. I sensed her. And then we get, again, Vader like, whoa, Vader is so cool. We love Darth Vader. He's great in the original trilogy. He's great in Rogue One. And Lucas, he did the unimaginable. He made Darth Vader lame. And where Darth Vader, he's connected to this like Frankenstein, just he's taking these big derpy steps, and he's like, and all the droids are buckling under his force powers and shit, and the room's walls are just literally like falling apart and everything. And Palpatine's just back there going, just smiling to himself. He loves what he's saying. Thank you to the Benny. But he's like, and then Vader's like, no, and it's so lame. Like, even the idea of him I think that just idea of just Vader going, like him just screaming, I think that would have been so much better, and just feel his rage and his pain, and maybe even like he attacks Palpatine, like would have been cool. I think it would have been really cool, as he's just like, and all this rage and all the fucking medical droids that operate him are just fucking exploding, and he literally lunges at Palpatine trying to kill him, and Palpatine just goes boom, just fucking boom, just backhands him, and then he was like, and there it is, and there he is. That's the relationship from that point on. It would have been so much better. It would have made so much fucking sense if he just hit him, because it's like, you're my fucking dog now. I'm all you have. I'm everything to you. I'm all that's left. You have to serve me. I think the idea of him just boom, that would have been great. And Vader's like, oh my fucking God, I fucked up. That would have been good. But Palpatine's just like, yeah. And he's, no. What happens after this? So he becomes like a cyborg thing. Eventually, we cut back to the Tantive 4, and Bail Organa is talking with Yoda. And, Obi-Wan about what to do with these kids. And, like, listen, the Emperor's going to want these kids. He's going to either want to kill them or turn them over to the dark side. They're very powerful with the Force. We can sense them already. So I think the best thing is we got to put them in hiding. Probably best to separate them so no one gets suspicious. And Bail Organa's like, listen, my wife and I, we've always wanted to adopt a little girl. We can take Leia and raise her as our own. And they're like, that's great. And, Yoda's like, be with his family, he should, which is like, no, he should not be with his family, because that might be the first place they look. But I guess the Empire doesn't look at the Lars farmstead on Tatooine. And they're like, take them to Tatooine, you will guard him, you must, Obi-Wan. And I'm going to hide out in a swamp planet. And they're like, all right, cool. Bail, he leaves, but Yoda talks to Obi-Wan. He's like, another thing I must talk to you about, Obi-Wan. And he's like, what is it, Master Yoda? And he's like, a voice from the past which to commune with you, your old master. And he's like, Qui-Gon Jinn? Yeah, I want to have a fucking word with him. He told me to train this little shit, and look what happened. And he's like, Qui-Gon be like, I love the idea of Qui-Gon just watching these two movies from the sidelines and going, ooh, I fucked up. But Yoda's like, I teach you to commune with your old master Qui. So I guess we might see, I don't know if this will happen. Maybe we'll see a conversation between Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor and Liam Neeson. I don't know. Liam Neeson did come back to the Clone Wars animated series, and Yoda talks with him. That's when he learns the ability where he can commune with Qui-Gon. So this is what this is. And so they're like, all right, cool. We then cut to Naboo, where they're burying Padme. And they specifically buried her where she still looks very pregnant. And so that's just the thing, that the baby's also died there. We see that she has the charm, the little wooden necklace that Anakin gave to her in Phantom Menace, where it's like, are you an angel? Like that necklace. Good for you. And she took that and she wore it. We also see Boss Nass. We also see Jar Jar, who had no speaking lines, but he's in the movie. He's there. And we also see the new queen, and Padme's father and mother and sister and brother, I think, are there. But they were brought back. Their scenes were cut from. So there's a shit ton of deleted scenes from Attack the Clones. And a lot of those scenes were Padme introducing Anakin to her family. Before they go to the island, she stays with them. And that was all cut from the movie because of pacing issues. That movie was awful pacing. So, but they're there too. They brought back, it's not that cool. They brought back the actors at least for like, there you go. You're in the background and shit. They bury her in her fucking tomb or whatever. We then also cut to a star, this is the Venerator, it's Venerator Star Destroyer, Venerator Republic Cruiser, where we see Darth Vader walking, like much in the same way we see him walk down like the, this hallway or this, the precipice or the walkway on the Star Destroyers. People are like, oh shit, it's Vader. Where he meets with Tarkin, Governor Tarkin, and Palpatine, and they're viewing the construction of the first Death Star, which takes 20 fucking years to build. That thing takes a long 19, I guess technically, but 20 goddamn years, chat. And they got fucking Galen Erso and Director Krennic on the sidelines, I suppose. After that, we then cut to Alderaan, where it looks gorgeous. It's the first time we've ever seen Alderaan in the movies, and it's like I would have liked to have cared about this planet because it looks really pretty, and it's like all mountainous and valleys and shit, and all purples and pinks, and it's like, oh, it's really nice. All buildings look really cool. And Bell, he fucking lands his ship, and he's like, hey, I got a baby, and they're like, oh, and they lay her they raise her in the lap of luxury, chat. We then cut to Tatooine. What's interesting about this scene with Ewan McGregor, Joel Edgerton, who plays Owen Lars, who I think is returning to the series, along with the actress who plays Beru. This scene, even though it's last in the movie, it was actually filmed first. This scene was actually filmed in 2000. That just shows you like how some of these scenes are like filmed out of order. This is filmed during Attack. This is like the last scene they filmed in Attack of the Clones, I think. And then but it was the first in like Revenge of the Sith, which I think is really cool. But I guess they managed to hide. I think they hide like Obi-Wan's face, so you don't see what his facial hair looks like. But anyway, Obi-Wan, he gets off the speeder, and Beru's out there doing sand moisture farming shit, and he gives the baby to Beru, and she's like, "Cool, a baby." And then she turns and she goes again. It's that classic shot where Owen Lars is standing up there with his leg over the horizon, looking at the twin sets of the twin sons of Tatooine. And she's like, hey, a baby. And he's like, cool. Ba 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 ba. We have a baby now. And Obi-Wan's just like, I gotta live on this fucking shitty planet. And he just he speeds away. And then and that, my friends, is my scene by scene breakdown, chat, of Star Wars Episode 3, and heavy emphasis on that colon, chat, Revenge of the Sith. I hope you enjoyed the review. I'm glad I came at the end. Oh, Lord. Jason, they did the bit. Appreciate that. Very, very kind. Yeah, no, man. Yeah. They didn't do anything. They didn't do nothing. They didn't do. Oh yeah, no. There's some retconning. Like, yeah, I remember my mother. She was very sad. Yeah, it's like, yeah, some bullshit. There's some bullshit. Oh well. But yeah, over. Ooh, Killabish Vanessa, thank you so much for resubscribing. 8 months of witnessing such greatness. Thank you, Vanessa. That's so kind. 1 month away from front pooping. There's been a lot of front pooping during this review. 1 month away from front pooping out that Twitch would be good to see you, Vanessa. Chat, please do check out Killabish. Give her some support. Check out her channel. Subscribe to her. Host her. Donate to her. Follow her. Do what must be done. Do not hesitate. Show no mercy. No, the show no mercy line doesn't really apply, but for the most part it applies. But I hope you enjoyed the review. It was very, very fun. Thank you, Millennial. Thank you. Oh, my Lord. Thank you, Jason, for the 10 biddies. Overall, chat, the movie, it stumbles in pretty much every regard. Again, like I said, for all these movies, for all the prequels, Star Wars prequels, there's some great ideas in them. They're gems. But they're not executed well. They're not expanded upon. It's rushed. The one really positive thing I will say about this movie is that I think the pacing is pretty good. I mean, there's a slow point in the film when after the first big action scene with Grievous in space, and then there's like 40 minutes like, what the fuck? But then it gets back to the action stuff. So I think it's probably the best pace of all the Star Wars movies. But at the same time, I'm just like, is this the best one? I don't know. A lot of people argue it is. But I think of like the Phantom Menace, the one thing I think that holds the Phantom Menace back is just Jar Jar's presence. He's so fucking annoying, and he's so racist. That's like this is really. But there's a lot of stuff about that first movie I really do like. I like the pod racing is really cool. That's like the sports of Star Wars. Like that was cool. That made me go on for a little too long, but that's a great idea. I really like Darth Maul. I like that, and that last duel is really fucking cool. You know, in this movie, it's like it's well paced. You know, I like Papa Palpatine, although not for maybe the best reasons. Maybe because he's both good and really bad at the same time. It goes back and forth. So I just don't know. I mean, overall, chat. I mean, it's still some old bullshit movie to me. It's still some old bullshit just because it's like, this is the fall. This is a cool story. The idea of the fall of Darth Vader. And this is the best. This is the best of what you can do with this. Really? It's like, I don't believe that. So I was thinking maybe it's a low round. I was like, nah, I gotta stick to my guns, chat. I would definitely give this, this is a some old bullshit movie right here for me. It's disappointing. Jason, the boy, all the trilogy fucking sucks. Agreed, Jason. Right there with you. Yep. What are you gonna do? I hope you enjoyed the review, though, guys. I hope you thought this was fun. Hope you thought it was fun. I'll be doing the last chapter in the original trilogy tomorrow of the Star Wars trilogy. I'll be doing Star Wars Episode 6: Return of the Jedi, which is has its issues, but is a much better third entry than Revenge of the Sith is, in my opinion. So we got to do a great 3-hour review. It was another 3-hour review, or, added on to because of a number of other things we were doing. That Spider-Man conversation, which was fun. Of course, Hype Trains, which I appreciate the support, guys. Seriously, thank you. But I think it's a rental just for him. No, I get that. I respect that. I think he's both good and bad in the movie. He's both the best thing and the worst thing about it at times. Small. I just love him. I just love his voice. Jillian Chris, check the Discord, did a quick meme. Oh, I can't wait to see it. Thank you, Don. Night, Chris. Great review. Thank you, Don. Have a great evening. Sleep well, good sir. I know it's late for you. All right, I'm going to check the Discord chat. Let's see what we got. What do you have? This is going to be a nightmare for Alex. Yeah. He's going to have to make some edits. Yeah, I think it'll come together. It'll be fun. I left him some good points, though. I think it'll be easy. Certain sections to cut out. It'll work out in the end. Let me go ahead and see. What was it in memes? Gotta be in them memes, man. Well, I look like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Fuck. Holy shit, you got me looking just like him, man. You did a good job here. Hold on. Oh. I love Papa Palpatine. Mother Prince heading out? No problem, my friend. Have a great night. Thank you for stopping by the stream. Here we go. Boom. I do look like him. Holy shit. Hello there, Christopher Juicy Herman. That is really good. Giant Elf, man. I love it. I love it. God, I got to share this on social media right now. Oh, another great piece. From Giant Elf, man. Twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Oh, yes. Nope. Ooh, baby. Very good. I'm going to share this on Twitter as well. Thank you, Jason, for the bidding. I was like, wow, shit, I do look like him. Hell yeah, I'll take it. You're coming in, man. You've done some great pieces, man. Thank you. I'm going to share this on Twitter as well. Some good stuff right here. Very nice. Boom, shared. Why is AIDS trending? What? Oh, the baby. All right, that guy. I was like, why is that trending? Why is that trending? Oh, no. Yeah. There you go, my friends. Oh, my Lord. That's shit. Ogres are like onions. They have layers. AIDS is trending, man. I think that rapper guy, Hippity Hop Man, said something stupid again, which is not surprising. But thank you, chat. Seriously, thank you for all the support today. This has been an awesome stream. I know I said I was going to play some Psychonauts and some Apex Legends and some Jackbox, though. I think for now, I think for these reviews, these long ones, these thick, girthy, well-endowed reviews, chat, I think I'll just do some multiplayer shenanigans. I think that's what we'll do. Hot. I think we'll just indulge multiplayer. So first, we will be playing some, we'll do some Apex Legends. That's what I'm going to switch out some things. I'm going to take a quick break. Going to take a quick break, you crazy kids. So in the meantime, my friends, entertain yourselves amongst yourselves. I'll be right back in a second. In the meantime, look upon Annie, creepy Annie. My whispers, boo.